Getting ready for the Lions and the Redskins. Special day for a special Redskins player. For more on that, let's go down to the field to Carissa Thompson.
Thank you, Samuel. Yeah, in a league where the size and the speed of the players have increased, rare to find a guy that hasn't missed a game. But today, Washington linebacker London Fletcher will be playing in his 200th consecutive game. You guys, that's second only to Brett Favre. Said he'll never forget his first game, an undrafted rookie with the Rams playing against the 49ers, Steve Young and Jerry Rice. He's amazed that he's been able to accomplish this feat. And not only is he doing it, but he's doing it well, leading the Redskins in tackles for the 4th straight year. Sam?
Thanks, Carissa. Yeah, he is a special man, special player. What a career London Fletcher has had, and he continues that career. There is Matthew Stafford, and there's his opposite number, Donovan McNabb, the youngster and the veteran. Good to see Donovan. He seemed very happy when we talked with him yesterday.
Yeah,
he seemed content.
Yeah, he is content. He said all the positives have certainly outweighed the negatives. The thing with Donovan, and he's certainly been inconsistent and up and down trying to learn this new offense. I've been surprised, and I think we're going to see it today from Jim Schwartz, Gunther Cunningham, and the Lions. They have sent a lot of pressure, a lot of blitzes at Donovan McNabb this season.
Lions kick it off. Jason Hanson kicks it away. Brandon Banks waiting for it at the 4, and here we go. Banks with quickness is wrapped up as he crosses the 25 down to the 27. Vinny Churchu, special teams expert, takes him down. Donovan McNabb leads the Redskins onto the field. Ryan Terrain will be the lead running back. He has rushed for over 100 yards each of the last 2 games. The offensive line has got the fine-looking rookie Trent Williams on the left tackle. Jamal Brown and Stephon Heyer will rotate at right tackle. Heyer starts the game, and not Jamal Brown, at right tackle for the Redskins, with Terrain and Sellers in the backfield. Off the play fake, McNabb falls down and holds on to the ball. He slipped coming out and winds up with a loss back to the 19-yard line.
Well, Cliff Averill will get himself a nice sack right there with Donovan McNabb. Look at McNabb as he pulls out. He's trying to run the bootleg, and it looks like he gets his foot stepped on. That's exactly what happened. Casey Robach, the center, stepped on his foot as he was going back, which messed up the timing. And then because the timing was messed up, Sam, the mesh point right there with the running back on the fake was screwed up, and he got tangled up with the running back as well. So it all started, though, with Casey Robach stepping on his foot right after the snap.
A loss of 8. Joey Galloway comes in as a 3rd wide receiver for the Redskins. Everybody out, swing it out to Ryan Terrain. That was a badly thrown ball. Low, there was pressure by Kyle Vanden Bosch on Donovan McNabb. Lions on defense. The rookie Ndamukong Suh, the 2nd overall pick, has 4.5 sacks. Cliff Averill coming back from an injury. That'll be a lift for the pressure. DeAndre Levy is back from an injury. He's missed 5 of the last 6, and he's a key in the middle. And the cornerbacks are Alphonso Smith and Chris Houston Smith, with 3 interceptions in the last 4 games.
Sam, the Redskins have been terrible on 3rd down this year, and what they wanted to avoid was the 3rd and longs right where they are right now.
3rd and 18, pressure, he dumps it off to Keelan Williams, the working running back. Williams is brought down at the original line of scrimmage, so it's 3 and out for the Redskins to start the game.
Well, and I think if you're the front 4 and Ndamukong Suh and the guys here with the Lions, you're pretty fired up at how it started. Donovan McNabb, all 3 of those plays, 3 plays offensively to start the game, all 3 times he was on the ground.
Lions are coming in off the bye week. The Redskins have the bye week next week. It'll be interesting to see how that mashes and collides with one another. Hunter Smith to punt, line drive punt. Stephon Logan takes it on the run, and looked like he got hit high and was brought down at the 43-yard line. Coverage on the play, and there's the hit to the side of the
Chris
helmet.
Wilson, yeah.
Good field position. They spot the ball to 43 as the Lions start with Matthew Stafford. His first action, and you hear the cheers for him, first action since the opening game of the season when he was injured in Chicago, his first home game since last season. His first NFL win came in September of last season against the Redskins here in Detroit. Javid Best, nothing there on first down. Good play up front by the Lions. Maybe gained a half a yard on the play. Lions offensively, as we mentioned, the rookie Javid Best has the most yards from scrimmage of any rookie in the NFL. Brandon Pettigrew and Tony Scheffler, two tight ends, have been outstanding. 59 catches between them. Offensive line is stuck together all season long, and they're doing a good job here.
Like this little wrinkle with both tailbacks in the backfield, Kevin Smith and Javid Best.
Out of the shotgun, everybody out. Over the middle, it's dropped through the hands of Brandon Pettigrew. London Fletcher was covering on the play. Bring up a 3rd and long. For the Redskins, defensively, they've gone to a 3-4 this season. Adam Carricker brought in, Maake Kemoeatu brought in. The linebackers are key. The rush comes for Brian Arakpo. He's got 7 sacks. In the middle, Fletcher and McIntosh. Albert Hainsworth comes into the game now. The secondary, there's Jim Haslett, the defensive coordinator, in his first year with the Redskins. D'Angelo Hall had 4 interceptions, tying an NFL record last week. Nice move by Stafford. Throws on the run. Ball caught but out of bounds. There's the pass to Bryant Johnson, so it's 3 and out for the Lions.
Yeah, and a good play here by Lorenzo Alexander, who stays in the game here on the 3rd down, and he is all over it and understanding what's going on here. Watch 97, and he is such an asset. Watch him cover the running back. He's going to slide over. He's going to spy. Now he's going to see the tight end leak out. Brandon Pettigrew. Stafford wanted to go there on the late check down. Lorenzo Alexander was right there defending it.
Nick Harris. Long, high punt. Bounces inside the 5 and into the end zone for a touchback. 56-yard punt, but it nets 36 on the touchback. And the Redskins, well, we had a flag on the play that we've got to check out.
Holding. Receiving team, number 54. 10-yard penalty. Washington keeps the ball. First down.
That's on HB Blades, Horatio Blades, called for the hold. That sets the Redskins back. Matthew Stafford's first series, not much.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Hey, Sam, some things I think we need to keep our early eyes on for sure. Stafford's protection hasn't played in 7 weeks. The O-line has done a good job, but I'm sure Jim Haslett's going to dial some stuff at him today. How will the Redskins defend Calvin Johnson? And I would think we're going to see D'Angelo Hall trying to match up on him in a lot of places. And then the right tackles, there's Stephon Heyer right there, who's out there for Jamal Brown here in the 2nd series. Those guys have struggled. Really, both bookends have struggled over the last couple of weeks.
Here is Ryan Terrain straight ahead, gets a couple of yards up to the 12, maybe the 13-yard line. And you mentioned McNabb. This is a gift sack. He's been sacked 11 times in the last 4 games, but the first series he was down on the ground all 3 plays.
Yeah, I had an assist on the first play as Robach stepped on his foot, but then the next 2, Kyle Vandenbosch was getting pressure on Donovan McNabb. And I would think, as you're trying to digest this system, if you're McNabb, certainly your thought process is slowing down, which slows your play down.
Santana Moss motion off the play fake. McNabb rolls right into a Lion, but he gets it out to Chris Cooley, who fights his way up to the 20-yard line and a first down. Chris Cooley, with his 36th catch of the season, leads all NFC tight ends in reception.
Another hit, this one from Vandenbosch again, who's coming hard off the edge. You look at those defensive ends, and they line up wide. We call it the wide 9 techniques, and they just angle down inside. They try to box everything in, both run and pass. And with all the bootleg action, and you'll see a lot of that from the Redskins because it all works off that zone running game, they're going to have opportunities to get big hits off the edges.
Again, Moss motions, blitz coming, and again, McNabb fell down. He shoveled the ball off to Ryan Terrain. But that's the 2nd time that Donovan McNabb tripped coming out of the snap.
Let's see if he gets stepped on again by Casey Robach. There's the snap. Yep, he did. He got stepped on again.
What's going on there?
Well, clearly the steps of Casey Robach, and his stepping in the bucket, if you will, not getting any movement to step forward. He's just kind of stepping back and stepping right on Donovan McNabb's foot. And you saw it there again. I mean, blitzes off the edge. That time it was C.C. Brown. We're going to see it all day today. 2nd and 15. Sammy Hill, number 91, in defensive tackle for the Lions. McNabb puts it up, but his receiver, Santana Moss, had stopped. So a lot of confusion here offensively. And, of course, the tripping coming out of the snap. Donovan McNabb reads the corner and thinks, okay, I got the deep route. I'm going to throw a fade to Santana Moss. Santana was clearly not on the same page, reading off and soft coverage. He put the brakes on and ran a little flat route.
That's the offensive coordinator, Kyle Shanahan, son of Mike, who was in Houston.
Another 3rd and long.
3 wide receivers. Galloway in as the 3rd wide. Keelan Williams, the rookie running back, is in the backfield. McNabb pressured, and down he goes. Kyle Vanden Bosch got there again.
3-man rush. 3-man rush. And watch Kyle Vanden Bosch. He's going to come off 2 feet here. He's standing up. He's going to end up running the corner and turning it on Trent Williams. See, inside rush there from Ndamukong Suh. Takes 2 guys. Kyle Vanden Bosch standing up. You really don't know where he's going to end up. Ends up right at his right end position, getting himself a nice sack, number 3 on the year.
Looked like he was hiding and Williams didn't know he was coming.
Well, and that's the deal with that radar blitz or that radar rush, if you will. You do not know where he's going to end up versus where he lines up.
The punt by Hunter Smith takes a lateral bounce and is down at the Redskins' 47-yard line. Kyle Vanden Bosch has had a great start to the game for the Lions.
His eyes are bleeding.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
Back at Ford Field in Detroit, Donovan McNabb sitting with offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan. Already pressures, sacks, hits on McNabb. The Lions start from the Redskins' 47. Javid Best. And a good job up front. Kendrick Golston involved in the play with Maake Kemoyatu. Time for our first update. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Cincinnati Bengals had not scored on an opening drive all season long until today. Carson Palmer to Terrell Owens, 7-yard score, an 8-minute drive and a touchdown to open the game, and the Bengals lead the Dolphins 7-0. Sam and Tim.
Bengals can use a win. Thanks, Kurt. Bengals, you see there, 2-4, and they need a win badly. Stafford quickly outside of Javid Best, who turns the corner, and Carlos Rogers shoves him out of bounds. That was a quick developing play. You see the quickness of Javid Best, who's been bothered by turf toe injuries on both feet, and he looks a lot better.
Yeah, and right away from the blitz, here's LaRon Landry. Now the throw's going opposite. Just a quick little hitch out there to Javid Best, or a flare pass. Nice block there from Nate Burleson.
3rd and 1. They go to the fullback, Jerome Felton, who gets the first down. Tim, with Stafford back in the lineup, do you expect the offense to change much?
Well, what I do expect is for them to drive the ball down the football field more, because he does have the bigger arm. They've got playmakers all over the place with Calvin and with Nate, so I would expect maybe the explosiveness to be a bigger element to this offense. But look, they need to get to the running game, and I think that was a huge point of emphasis when you looked at them in the bye week about where they were in terms of rushing the football. That's got to improve. Linehan knows it.
You see the numbers. They go to the passing game a lot. Corey Hilliard in at right tackle, replacing Gosder Charles. The play fake. Stafford throws wide open and completing to Calvin Johnson down at the 22-yard line for a first down.
We've already seen D'Angelo match up with him, but not in the slot, and then nobody covers him. Look, just a little leverage route. The safety's playing off and soft. I mean, that's too easy. You hold a Rakpo, the outside linebacker, you know Rakpo's not going to cover him out in space. Landry was late getting over the top to come help. That's easy pickings for Calvin Johnson, but interesting, they did not have D'Angelo Hall on him, Sam, in the slot.
Albert Hainsworth is in at defensive tackle. Andre Carter in at end. Off the play fake, Stafford looking, throwing deep for Calvin Johnson. Intercepted by D'Angelo Hall. He did it again. He had 4 last week in Chicago. and he starts the game off by stepping in front of Calvin Johnson for another interception.
Well, I talked about being patient. If you're Stafford, you got to get the ball up high to where only Calvin can catch it. Not a good throw. Nice pick.
Today's game is sponsored by the new Ford Edge. The world has never seen a crossover quite like this. By DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
18th takeaway for the Washington Redskins ties Tennessee for the league lead. D'Angelo Hall leads the NFL with 6 interceptions, 5 in the last 2 games. Ryan Terrain cutting back, and that's a 5-yard gain on first down.
D'Angelo leads the NFL in takeaways, period. And I think here's the interception. And I mean, if you're Matthew Stafford, you've got everything that you want. And I think that's some of the rust that we're talking about. You got your big receiver, 6'5", against a smaller corner who's playing from a trail position. You get a small corner playing from a trail position, put it up high over his head where only Calvin can get it. I think we saw some of that rust on that Stafford throw.
Stephon Hire remains in at right tackle for the Redskins. That's 3 consecutive series. Ryan Terrain brought down. That's a great tackle by Chris Houston, the cornerback. Stepping up into the backfield and taking Terrain down for a loss.
And they have got to control the edges today in the perimeter if you're Detroit defensively. And Chris Houston does a great job from his corner spot. And there's Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator. He knows you've got to box in that running game. They'll try to run the stretch. You've got to box it in, make it cut back. And then the same goes for the pass with all the bootleg action.
Gunther Cunningham, longtime rival with Mike Shanahan, going back to their days at Kansas City and Denver. Keelan Williams, the running back. Joey Galloway, the 3rd wide receiver. Cooley lines up in the backfield. The blitz coming. McNabb in trouble. Runs out of it and is brought down at the 27-yard line short of a first down. Oh, the Lions coming with everything at Donovan McNabb. Pressure from Cliff Averill. He got a hold of him for the tackle.
They're going to send the blitz from here. You'll see Julian Peterson come. You'll see C.C. Brown come. They play some zone behind it. Nowhere for McNabb to go with the football, and a magic trick just to pick up a few yards.
Hunter Smith with his 3rd punt of the game already. Stephon Logan lets it drop at the 36, takes a Lions bounce, and they will spot it up close at the 40-yard line. Lions have started in good field position. They've got to find a way to make things work. What a nice, colorful day this is. Lions have started from their own 43. The Redskins 47, now their own 40. Haven't been able to take advantage of good field position yet. The toss. Javid Best turning the corner. There's a flag on the play. The gain up to the 44-yard line, but it looks like they'll bring it back. It's against the Lions.
Yeah, I think they're going to get a hold right there at the point of attack, Sam, on the edge.
Offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
On the tight end, Brandon Pettigrew. Tonight, what a night on Fox. Got doubleheader football, post-game, and then Game 4 of the World Series. Rangers with a big 4-2 win last night at home. They'll try to even the series tonight against the San Francisco Giants. Game 4, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Starting pitchers, Madison Bumgarner for the Giants, Tommy Hunter for the Rangers. Joe Buck, Tim McCarver have the call. Join us. Stay with us all day long right here on Fox. Stafford with time, throwing and completing up to the 35 to Brandon Pettigrew. Let's check out what's happening in Dallas. For that, let's go to Kurt Menefee.
Well, Sam, good thing they can focus on the World Series right now. Jacksonville coming in, David Garrard hooking up with Mike Sims Walker for a touchdown, and John Kidno, of course, starting for Tony Romo, has just been intercepted. So Jacksonville marching for more, already up 7-3 in the first. Sam and Tim.
Troubles for Dallas, Kurt. Thanks. Boy, this has been one. You talk about Halloween nightmares.
Yeah.
It's been Halloween nightmare all season long. Stephon Logan motions. Pettigrew went out with a injured foot, replaced by Tony Scheffler at tight end. The carry by Javid Best up to the 38-yard line. Fans a little restless on that call. Brings up a 3rd and long for the Lions.
Well, they have really hurt themselves with the penalty, as we saw, obviously, the interception, but they have not taken advantage of good field position.
Right.
Here in the first quarter, I mean, really everything you could ask for in terms of the field position and where you start, and they have been unable to take advantage of it. Been good on 3rd down, though, when you look at this offense.
3rd and
all
11.
year long.
Have to get to midfield. Stafford works out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers. Stafford gets time. Nobody open. Now Carter hits him, and it was almost intercepted. Dropped by Vonnie Holiday. Andre Carter with the hit. There's a flag downfield.
And I'm not sure Stafford isn't feeling a little pain right now just watching him on the ground. Holy cow.
He waited a long time to get rid of it, and too long as he took the hit from Andre Carter. Let's check out the penalty flag.
Holding. Defense. Number 31. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
That's on the 5th defensive back, Philip Buchanan. Oh, does that upset the head coach, Mike Shanahan?
Yeah, there it is right there. Philip Buchanan. There's Andre Carter and coming from behind, and I promise you, he felt that one now. 7 weeks removed from that right shoulder and came down. Really, it looked like a lot like that week 1 play where he got hurt against Chicago.
Kevin Smith in the backfield now out of the shotgun, and Smith carrying. So the Lions get a break on the holding call, get a first down. LaRon Landry with a stop on Kevin Smith as they are going at it right to the whistle.
Good to see him back, Kevin Smith. We did the Baltimore game last year. Remember when his knee exploded? And they need supplementation in the run game.
That is Sean Hill, who is out with a broken forearm at least a month. Did a real good job. There's a good argument that he's one of the top backup quarterbacks, if not the top backup quarterback in the NFL. That's Brian Orakpo injured. That's bad news for the Redskins. Orakpo limped off to the sideline under his own power. Looks like he's in some discomfort, left foot injury. He's replaced by Chris Wilson, number 95. Brandon Pettigrew is back in for Detroit, as is Gosder Charles at right tackle. Kevin Smith finds some running room into Redskins territory down to the 47. Always concerned about Matthew Stafford. What happened in week 1 opening game? Julius Peppers beats Jeff Backus and takes down Matthew Stafford. Shoulder separation, throwing shoulder, and now he's just back in.
Yeah, let's just hope, and I'm not a lip reader, but I hope he wasn't saying it was the other one after that big hit when he came down awkwardly with Andre Carter, ran and hit him from behind. 3rd and 1, Albert Hainsworth in a defensive tackle for the Redskins. Blitz coming. Kevin Smith stopped by Hainsworth. There's the penetration and the strength of Albert Hainsworth in the middle of that defense. Yeah, and who said you have to 2-gap as a nose tackle in the 3-4? And that's right where Albert is lined up here, but there is no 2-gapping going on whatsoever. He is creasing the gap and penetrating. He just throws Rob Sims to the side and then swallows up the running back. And I got to, we talked about it earlier, and there seems to be like they finally have come together. Just talking to Shanahan, talking to the Redskin guys, the players. London Fletcher says we trust him now. He's been practicing hard. Watch that game in Chicago last week. He was dominant.
It's like they've called a truce. They've stopped fighting for a while. The punt, the high one, bounces at the 5. Lions trying to touch it down. Let's see. The official is looking. Still waiting for the side touchback. It's ruled a touchback. 49-yard punt will net 29. A good high punt by Nick Harris. They tried to keep it in, but no, it crossed the plane of the goal line. Touchback. Jim Schwartz has challenged the call of a touchback.
Yeah, and I think the whole deal is you're going to see Wendling right here, and he's going to knock it back. And then you got to ask yourself, if you're Maurice Morris, you'll see 28 come flying in here. I think everything's good. Wendling's going to hit it. He's definitely not on the line. I don't even know if he even touches it. Let's see here if he even gets a piece of it with his left hand. I think his left foot clearly is in play. He doesn't even touch it. Now it's going to be Maurice Morris as he comes down. Now, did his hands touch before he gets it back in the field of play? Hard to tell from that angle, but it doesn't look like it. Does his elbow touch the end line right there before the ball comes back out into the field of play?
Is it a matter of crossing the plane on this, Tim?
No. It's not a matter of crossing the plane. The ball can go up and over and cross the plane.
All right.
Oh, no, that's going to be.
The rule on the field stands. Touchback.
Wow.
Detroit is charged. His first team timeout.
I think what they're saying is they didn't have enough evidence to overrule the ruling on the field.
I'm not sure about that. Just looking at, and I thought that was a good challenge by Jim Schwartz, but just looking at that last angle we saw, to me it looked like there was clearly air under the hands of Maurice Morris as he threw it back into the field of play.
So they tried. Washington will get the ball to 20-yard line. Number 77 is Jamal Brown, who's in for the first time at right tackle, as Mike Shanahan looks for either Jamal Brown or Stephon Heyer to step up and they take over that position.
Sam been able to handle the edge at all, whether it's Vandenbosch or a blitzer off the corner. It's been giving the Redskins problems.
Two tight ends in, Cooley and Fred Davis. The pass to Cooley, it's knocked out of his hands. It's a flag down. It's an incomplete pass. Louis Delmas, the safety, knocked the ball out of the hands of Chris Cooley. But looks like there's a penalty on the Redskins.
Another hit on Donovan McNabb, by the way.
Offense, number 47. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Cooley gets called for the offensive interference. Now Donovan McNabb gets hit again.
Yeah, and Ndamukong Suh right up the middle puts the initial pressure. And then Kyle Vandenbosch once again taking Raybach and the offensive lineman and throwing him right into the legs of Donovan McNabb.
His bodies fell right on his left foot. Turk McBride, number 75, in on the defensive line for the Lions. McNabb pressured, swings it out to Ryan Terrain. There's no gain on the play. Nice job defensively by the Lions. Louis Delmas, the safety, comes up, makes a nice tackle.
Look at some of the struggles here with the Redskins offense and TD efficiency right near the bottom, red zone scoring, third down conversion, an area they really have got to get better in. Points off takeaways. I mean, their defense has knocked it out 17 times, but yet they can't really capitalize and seize the opportunity with touchdowns.
From the 10-yard line, 2nd and 20. Pressure on McNabb, got it to Cooley. Cooley spins and gets up close to the 20-yard line, right to the 20-yard line. DeAndre Levy, number 54. Lions happy to see him back in the lineup. Chris Cooley's become the key receiver for the Redskins.
Well, this offense, I think, is tailor-made for him. You think about Mike Shanahan and his times in Denver and all the outstanding tight end play that he had with Shannon Sharp and then Scheffler and those guys after that. You look at Chris Cooley, who's definitely an adequate blocker, but with all the bootleg action and all the second-level stuff in terms of the passing game is tailored for Cooley.
There's 3rd and 10. 4-man rush. McNabb gets rid of it to Keelan Williams. The rookie out of LSU is spun down by DeAndre Levy. Good defensive series for the Lions. The penalty hurt the Redskins. They're 0 for 4 on third down conversions in the game. End of the first quarter. Lions and Redskins, no score. Welcome to Halloween on the NFL on Fox. Glad you're with us. Starting the second quarter. And Hunter Smith with the long punt, backing up Stephon Logan at his 22. Has some room if he can get to the corner. Force back inside. Tries the other side, and he's wrapped up by Lorenzo. 6-yard punt, penalty on the play.
Receiving team, number 75. 10-yard penalty. Detroit keeps the ball. First down.
Lions are set back. This is the first game of our Fox NFL doubleheader. And glad you're enjoying us. Coming up, game 2, America's Game of the Week. The Vikings with Brett Favre.
It's going to be chilly for chilly up in New England.
And the Patriots, Tom Brady. Patriots are 5-1. And the Vikings need a win badly.
How about Randy Moss going back up to Gillette?
Oh, yeah. Big return.
Could you ever hold Brett Favre out of this game if you're Brad Childress when he said he's willing to give it a shot?
I think you start it and you see how long it can go. Lions start from their 11-yard line. Neither team has gotten anything going offensively. Lions have had good field position prior to this. Now they start deep in their own territory. 2 tight ends, Scheffler and Pettigrew. Off the fake. Screen pass set up and dropped by Javid Best. He had 2 blockers out in front of him, but he dropped the ball. Take a look at the numbers in the first quarter. Not much offensively.
Look at this. Would you say out of sync? 19 total yards, and they won time of possession, the Washington Redskins. Holy cow.
Good news for the Redskins. Brian Orakpo is back in after suffering that foot injury. Scott Linehan looking for his offense to get going here with Matthew Stafford working out of the shotgun. 3 wide receivers in. Ryan Johnson the third. They stop the play. False start against the Lions.
False start. Offense. Number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Tell you, talking to Jimmy Schwartz on Friday, I said, how was the off week? Off week? Didn't take any time off. That's right. I mean, these guys work. They had to try to get their quarterback ready to go. And 10 penalties a game, far too many on the defensive side of the ball, but it has certainly been something that they got to get cleaned up. Self-inflicted wounds with the penalties.
Back to the 6-yard line. 2nd and 15. Off the play fake, Stafford throws and completes to Calvin Johnson. Out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Pickup of 12 on the play.
Tell you, Calvin has exploded over the last 3 or 4 games, hasn't he?
Yes.
In terms of just going it up and ripping it away from guys, and I think we've been seeing that athletic ability, which is dynamic for Calvin Johnson, showing up on Sundays finally.
On 3rd and 3, Albert Hainsworth back in on the defensive line. So is Andre Carter. Lions 1 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. 3 wide receivers in. And the pass is broken up. Big hit on Burleson by Philip Buchanan, who's in as the 5th defensive back.
Tremendous play by Philip Buchanan. That's all about film study right there and recognizing what they're trying to do to you by formation. And he saw right away as Nate Burleson went out on a little pivot route what was developing. He just got on his horse and came and blew it up. Looked like he may have gotten a stinger or hurt his shoulder in the process. 3rd punt by Nick Harris. 3 and out for the Lions. Penalty hurt them. Good high punt. And it's taken by Brandon Banks, and he is pulled down. He tried to belly back. Great coverage on the play by the Lions. 46-yard punt. Maurice Morris, the backup running back, gets down and makes the tackle.
Today's game is sponsored by Coors Light, the new Silver Bullet aluminum pipe from Coors Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. By the Dodge Challenger. Visit your local Dodge dealer today. And by Citizen Echo Drive. Fueled by light, it never needs a battery. Unstoppable.
5th possession of the game for the Redskins. They punted 4 times. It's been 3 and out 3 times. See the defensive coordinators on the left, Jim Haslett of Washington, Gunther Cunningham on the right, the Lions defensive coordinator. McNabb gets time, throws for Santana Moss, who was low and ruled incomplete. The ball hit the ground. covered by Chris Houston on the play.
We talked about pressuring McNabb, and a lot of defensive coordinators have dialed up the blitzes on Donovan McNabb. I think we'll see a lot of that today out of Gunther Cunningham, and you see really two different philosophies and two very aggressive coordinators over the years. Jim Haslett, 39% overall blitz, most of it coming on second down. So he blitzes more than Gunther overall, but certainly his come on second down, where you look at Gunther, traditionally his blitzes, his pressure packages have come on third down.
Two tight ends in, they go toss to Terrain, who tried to cut it back, was slowed down and fought his way up to the 34-yard line for a couple of yard gain. Not much going on for either offense.
And Sammy Lee Hill does a real nice job here. I'll tell you, when you talk about the zone run game, you've got to get the defensive tackles blocked. You have to. Everybody blocks away. Look at him just split the crease of the double team between Lichtensteiger and Casey Robach, and then gets himself a nice tackle at the line of scrimmage. If that zone running game, Sam, is going to work, you got to get those big fellas inside, blocked and pushed off the line of scrimmage.
Joey Galloway in as a third wide receiver. Keelan Williams lines up in the backfield. 5 defensive backs for the Lions who show blitz. McNabb pressured, in trouble, looking downfield, gets rid of it, and it's too far. The man downfield was Anthony Armstrong. C.C. Brown blitzing from his safety position. DeAndre Levy was applying pressure. Not much time for Donovan McNabb to throw.
Well, good to have DeAndre Levy back. I'll tell you that, talking to the Detroit Lions. And I mean, they want to build this team around DeAndre Levy. That time you talked about him coming on the pressure. Donovan really had nowhere to go. He tried to throw from the pocket and then got out. But growing injury for DeAndre, then an ankle injury. I know they're very excited, Sam, to have him back in the lineup.
Long punt by Hunter Smith, taken by Logan at the 10. Great return. He gets to the outside. He's got the punter to beat. He stays in bounds.
Oh!
Now he stumbles out of bounds inside the 20 at the 19-yard line. Great return by Stephon Logan. 71-yard return.
That cat is electric, and watch the blue jerseys form this wall here. Look it, there's one very good block right there. That's a knockdown. You get somebody off their feet right there by Churchu. You get 4 guys that are able to pin the Redskins to the inside. Now it's about faking out the punter. He's able to do that. Loses his balance on the tightrope and goes out of bounds.
Longest return by a long shot for Stephon Logan of a punt. Javid Best on first down inside the 15 and down close to the 13-yard line. A pickup of, let's give him 6 on the play. Good run on first down.
And really, it's about spread run, I think, for Javid Best. When you think about what he's best at, it's not the power run game and
right.
getting all the tight ends and the fullback and getting everybody inside. To me, it's about spreading out the defense, giving him the creases to run to, and showing him some daylight. We saw it there for about 6 yards.
Working out of the shotgun is Matthew Stafford with Best behind him. 3 wide receivers. Go quickly outside of Bryant Johnson, and he dropped it. Couple of drops in this game. Best dropped one earlier. Bryant Johnson drops one here. Brings up a third down play. Again, the Lions trying to find a way to capitalize on field position. They've been good in the red zone this season. Albert Hainsworth and Vonnie Holliday come in on the defensive line.
Look at all those drops.
Yeah.
That's a theme that has been an issue for these guys all season.
And a whistle.
First charge, timeout.
A timeout. Washington called the timeout before the ball was snapped, with the Lions threatening in a scoreless game. That's Stephon Logan. He came close to a touchdown. Oh!
Hey, stuck him inside. I bought some room, got to the sideline. He wants that one back.
That's
he cannot believe that he did everything right with the exception of finishing and lost his balance and went out of bounds.
Stafford completes to Calvin Johnson. Diving for the end zone. He's in. Touchdown. D'Angelo Hall had him but couldn't keep him out of the end zone.
That was all about desire right there to get himself into the end zone. He read the off coverage. Stafford and Calvin were on the same page there, delivered the football, now backpedal, good. Off coverage, gonna stop, put the brakes on, now this is all Calvin Johnson, just effort. He wanted that end zone so bad that he was willing to drag D'Angelo Hall in there with him. Love it from Calvin.
Calvin Johnson has now scored a touchdown in 4 consecutive games, 5 in the last 4 games. Extra point is good. The Lions break through. Big punt return sets them up, and Johnson with a great effort for the touchdown. 7-0 Lions.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Unstoppable. November 12th, only in theaters.
Back here in Detroit, where Stephon Logan had a 71-yard punt return to set up the offense, and Calvin Johnson finished it off with a touchdown reception, his 6th touchdown of the season.
Love that mentality. Basically refuse to lose if you're Calvin Johnson. He was getting in the end zone.
There's Brandon Banks from the 7-yard line. Picks up a couple of blocks. He's got a lane down the sideline. Hansen missed them, but got a little bit as Banks cut to the inside and was down in Lions territory at the 47-yard line. Good return by Brandon Banks.
Yeah, and watch the 19-year veteran try to make a tackle, Jason. Hansen on Brandon Banks, who goes about $155, 155 pounds. They like that guy a lot as a returner, and 4 touchdowns last year for him at Kansas State. I believe Sam led the nation.
There was a penalty as well. They've added on some yardage down to the 42-yard line. 47-yard return by Brandon Banks. 2 tight ends in. McNabb off the play fake. Nobody open. He takes off. A lot of room for Donovan McNabb. Down to the 10, and he's wrestled down at the 7-yard line, maybe the 6. What a run by McNabb as he took off, his longest of the season.
And they threw a flag here on Julian Peterson. Now, if he got his face mask, I get it. If he didn't get his face mask, Donovan is a runner now. He's crossed the line of scrimmage. He is a runner. You can hit him any way you need to get him down. And I like the fact that Donovan took off and ran when he saw some man coverage, in particular 2-man, where you run everybody off in man coverage, nowhere to go. The safeties are back deep. There's a lot of real estate for McNabb to run the football, and he took advantage of it.
After consultation, there is no foul for unnecessary roughness on the play.
There you go.
The quarterback was still a runner when the tackle was made.
Now you got it right on, Tim.
And here's the man coverage. You'll see it right here. And look at, they're running guys off. They're running them deep. Look at all that space now that McNabb's got to throw to. He wanted to go left. Julian Peterson, though, was in good man coverage. Now he just sees all the turf, and he takes off and sells out. He's trying to get in the end zone himself.
That ties for the longest run of the season by the Redskins, and McNabb's longest down to the 6, 1st and goal. Galloway in as the 3rd wide receiver. Terrain short of the line of scrimmage. Boy, he hasn't been able to get going at all. Good job, Jonathan Wade, the 5th defensive back.
Remember I talked about you're going to run the zone. You better block the defensive tackles. Watching Ndamukong Suh right here and the penetration he gets. I mean, he drives Casey Robach 2 yards into the backfield to where Chris Cooley has no chance to get to the backside end. There's nowhere to go for Ryan Terrain.
Corey Williams wound up with a tackle. Joey Galloway splits out, 3 wide receivers. 2nd and goal. McNabb dumps it off to Terrain. He's in. Touchdown for Ryan Terrain. His first receiving touchdown. As the Redskins answer right back. They get a great return, a 47-yard kickoff return by Brandon Banks. Set them up in great field position, and Donovan McNabb did the rest, both with his legs and then the pass to Ryan Terrain, and he's moved into 17th place all time on the NFL's passing list.
Love the play call by Kyle Shanahan. I mean, they set this thing up perfectly, and watch all 3 of these linemen on the interior get right out and lead the way. Look at that, is synced up. All 3 of them, each guy gets a block. Easy touch for Ryan Terrain.
Washington Redskins kickoff coverage unit, #1 in the NFL. These are 3 of their top men. Chris Horton, a safety. Mike Sellers, a fullback. Lorenzo Alexander, a linebacker this year. He's played on the defensive line. He's been on the offensive line, but he's a linebacker now and special teams expert as well.
Been everywhere. How about Mike Sellers, 35 years old, still running down on the kickoff.
This kick by Graham Gano, coming down to Stephon Logan at the goal line. Logan hops over one man, goes flying down at the 23-yard line. Chris Horton in on the tackle, one of those men that we talked about. Great day of football here on Fox. Doubleheader day followed by Game 4 of the World Series, shaping up as a terrific series. Rangers came back last night with a win at home. They'll try to even the series tonight. Game 4, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. Joe Buck and Tim McCarver on the call. What a great day right here on Fox. Chris Horton, who made the tackle, is down on the play, and they're checking out that right ankle. In a considerable amount of pain here.
You ever notice watching special teams that, and week in and week out, and we like to track it, but Mike Burks, our producer, did a great job of laying out the guys who are the playmakers, but it's like every week it's the same 2 or 3 guys making the tackles on special teams, and that holds up as consistent as anything.
Concern for Chris Horton right now. They're not moving him at all. There's D'Angelo Hall. He's had an interception. For Donovan McNabb with that touchdown pass, the screen pass to Ryan Terrain, he's moved past Jim Hart into 17th place all-time passing yardage in NFL history.
And you can tell by looking at him, and the more he runs now, the more it's going to change the way defenses defend him, especially with that man-free coverage with 2 deep safeties supporting all the man underneath. But he doesn't look right in this offense. It's been a learning experience. I mean, you think about all the times in Philadelphia with the quick pass game, right? Get it out. If it's not there, use your legs, buy some time, improvise. Where they want to see him here in Washington is letting the routes develop, looking deep, stepping up in the pocket, which clearly has not been his game for 11 years.
Right. And he was, last few games, early in the season, he was running a lot more than he's been running the last few games. But then today, he's been forced to take off. He was that time, and he had a 36-yard run. Looked good doing it. Lions start from the 23, 3 wide receivers. Brian Johnson in with Nate Burleson and Calvin Johnson. Quick outside to Nate Burleson. And the Redskins are there. Good job by Lorenzo Alexander. Let's check out the Rams in Carolina. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Sam Bradford, this year's #1 overall pick, looking good continually for the Rams, hooking up with Danny Amendola for a 10-0 lead over the Carolina Panthers at the 2-minute warning. Sam and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. St. Louis Rams, they've got a shot at the division. And another injured player, that's Philip Daniels, backup defensive end on the field. So the Lions getting banged up here. Back-to-back plays. There's Chris Horton on the sideline as they check out his right foot and right leg.
I want you to watch Lorenzo Alexander right here, 97. The guy's played offensive guard. He's played defensive tackle. Now he's playing outside linebacker in this 3-4 scheme, and he is really, really good in space. I mean, for a guy that's 275 pounds, he's able to turn his hips, flip his hips, move very, very well in space for a big guy, 6'1", 275 pounds. I remember like 4 years ago, Joe Gibbs said he had the best punch out of all the offensive linemen. Now this guy's playing outside linebacker in the 3-4. Very, very versatile, and he's outstanding on special teams.
Philip Daniels looks okay. He's walking normally, seems to have collected himself and under his own power. Meanwhile, they continue to work on the right leg and right foot of Chris Horton. Lions 2nd and 10 at the 23. Javid Best and Jerome Felton in the backfield. Stafford with time finds Calvin Johnson. That's his guy. LaRon Landry, the safety, makes the stop, but the pickup up to the 42-yard line. A first down.
I love what Scott Linehan's doing right now.
Holding. Offense. Number 84. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
What did you talk about earlier? Penalty, shooting themselves in the foot. There it is again.
Self-inflicted wounds, because that was a very good play call by Scott Linehan, and I'm going to tell you why. You look at the Redskins, and they're sitting in that Okie package, which is really just the old, simple 3-4 defense. And that's where Andre Carter's not on the field. And you got a Rakpo on one side rushing. You got Lorenzo Alexander on the other side. And if you go back and you watch the tape of the Redskins defense, now this isn't it. This is going to be their sub package with Albert Hainsworth and Andre Carter in the game. But if you go back and watch them, when they've sat in that Okie defense, that true 3-4, they have had issues defending the pass. It's exactly what Linehan just dialed up on that last play.
They go draw play to Javid Best. He gets back to the 16-yard line. Instead of being up at the 42, the Lions with a penalty back to their own 12. Key plays, Stephon Logan on the punt return. 71 yards, and he stumbled out of bounds at the 19. The Lions finished it off. Calvin Johnson taking the short pass, fighting his way in. Then it was Brandon Banks with a 46-yard punt kickoff return, and then the 36-yard run by Donovan McNabb, and the short pass to Ryan Terrain, who took it in to tie the game. Stafford sets up the screen to Javid Best. Couple blockers with him, trying to get outside. A lot of moves, and finally London Fletcher was staying with him. And Fletcher and D'Angelo Hall combined on the stop.
Watch London Fletcher here, Sam, in his 200th game. He has got Javid Best in man coverage. Okay, so here he is. He's on Best, number 44. Now he's going to run with him. Now he's going to get spun around. He's going to spin once, going to spin twice. Allows all of his help to show up. But the deal is you're in such a long down and distance situation that you just tackle that guy in front of the first down mark and you force a punt.
Nick Harris, fourth punt, a good one. Fair catch waved for by Brandon Banks, and he takes it at the 24-yard line. What a day for London Fletcher. Carissa Thompson spoke about him right at the top. 200 consecutive games, second longest streak in the NFL. Man who started his career with the Rams, played with the Buffalo Bills, and now with the Washington Redskins. All over the field. He's a sideline to sideline guy. He's all effort. Was never drafted. Came out of John Carroll College. But this guy has been a leader everywhere he's gone. And with a new defense, 3-4 defense, he's doing a great job leading the team in tackles.
Look at what he's done in the 3-4. 92 tackles through 7 games. So good to see him get to the Pro Bowl last year.
McNabb is sacked. Stephon Hires back in at right tackle after Jamal Brown had played the last few series. And Ndamukong Suh now has 5.5 sacks in his rookie season.
Yeah, and watch him right here. He is having a great season and is going to certainly be up for Rookie of the Year. Look at him get the hands down of Artis Hicks. Artis Hicks, a lot of veteran offensive guards. They're going to set quick on you. They're going to get their hands on you, thinking they can beat you with strength. Suh gave a little head fake to the left, batted the arms down, and then he's got the outstanding ability to finish. And as you said, sack 5.5.
Third sack of the game for the Lions. Back to the 16. It's Ryan Terrain. Oh, I thought that might have been a face mask. As he came across the line, gets up to the 21-yard line, but no flag on the play. Corey Williams grabbed Ryan Terrain.
This D-line, and you know, Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator, is an old D-line coach. So, and I think coached 11, 12 years in the defensive line. This group, he loves them here with the Lions. There's no doubt when you look at the defensive line here in Detroit, it is the strength, Sam, of this football team.
Redskins have to get to the 34 for a first down. McNabb in trouble, and Suh has got him, and Ndamukong Suh with his second sack. The Lions' fourth. McNabb is taking some hits in this game.
Yeah, they got to start moving Donovan out on the perimeter, because the idea coming in was, look, we want Donovan McNabb to step up in the pocket. You're going to get outside pressure, which forces him to step up, but the inside pressure there's nowhere to step up to. And Ndamukong Suh just went through 3 offensive players right there to get his 2nd sack of the day today.
6.5 on the season. Out of the end zone, Hunter Smith kicking toward the sideline to kick it away from Stephon Logan. After that last return was 71 yards. This one is out of bounds at the Lions 49. They have got great field position. 1 week from tonight, Halloween isn't over, Tim, until the Simpsons say it is. The all-new Treehouse of Horror. The bloodsuckers are out. Hungry for Homer. The all-new Simpsons Treehouse of Horror starts at 8/7 Central 1 week from tonight on Fox. Look at those masks. Ankle injury for Chris Horton. Questionable return. Kevin Smith in the backfield for the Lions. Some late changes for the Redskins. Albert Hainsworth is in on the defensive line. Lions start at their own 49 with 3 wide receivers. Nate Burleson motions. Kevin Smith, big hole. Nice hole right in the middle, and he gets down to the 38-yard line. A 13-yard run. Kareem Moore.
Remember when I was talking earlier, Sam, remember when I was talking earlier saying the Redskins could not get after the pass out of the Okie look? Well, this isn't the Okie look. This is their sub-package look with the 2 defensive linemen, Albert Hainsworth in the middle. They have not been able to stop the run out of this defensive formation. Look at that crease for Kevin Smith.
Matthew Stafford, 7 for 13, 63 yards. Kevin Smith, this time he stopped short of the line of scrimmage. LaRon Landry with a stop. Let's find out what's happening in Cincinnati. Here's Kurt Menefee.
Well, sometimes you got to get lucky bounces to win football games. Watch this ball. Off the foot of Chris Clemens into the hands of Terrell Owens. 37-yard score. T.O.'s 2nd of the day. And the Bengals lead the Dolphins 14-6 approaching halftime. Sam and Tim.
Wow. What a lucky bounce. But Terrell Owens will take it. Miami 3-3 coming into the game. Cincinnati 2-4. On 2nd down. Stafford throws and it's knocked away. D'Angelo Hall getting the arm in front of Calvin Johnson to break up the play.
And you're going to see Jim Haslett send all kinds of different pressure. This time, here it is, number 33, LaRon Landry, right off the edge there. He sees the hot, but he's late getting it out. And when you say hot, typically it's going to come out of the slot as it did that time, and it's a receiver basically having his head on a swivel, recognizing the blitz, get your head turned quick, and receive the football. They were a little bit late in both regards.
Have to get to the 28 for a 1st down. Kevin Smith in the backfield with Matthew Stafford. Late blitz coming. Stafford puts it up high and deep and throws it out of bounds. Calvin Johnson cut inside. D'Angelo Hall was covering on the play, and that pass missed by a long shot. So the Lions fail to take advantage of good field position again.
Well, that's been the theme this whole first half. They've had outstanding field position and haven't been able to take advantage of it, with the exception on the payoff after the Logan big return that Calvin ended up putting the exclamation point on with the touchdown.
5th punt of the game for Nick Harris. Good high kick, fair catch, wave 4 by Brandon Banks at the 11-yard line. Defenses have been good in this game.
Remember, we were talking earlier about McNabb and the 3 levels of the passing game and what he did in Philadelphia. Now it's pretty universal. There's level 1 in the National Football League, 0 to 5. Level 2, 6 to 14. Level 3, Sam, 15 yards to the end zone. Well, McNabb in Philadelphia, it was 1, 2, and 3 in terms of the passing levels. Get it out quick. Get it to your first read if it's open, and just move the ball that way. Where here in Washington, I think the order of priority is totally different.
From the 11, McNabb with Terrain and Sellers in the backfield. It's Terrain cutting back, getting up to the 15-yard line. Pick up a 4 on the play.
And here's what I was talking about. You look at how they did it in Philadelphia. It was 1 in the level 1 of the passing game. First read, second read to level 2, third read to level 3. In other words, make quick decisions, get it out fast. Well, in Washington, it's read deep to shallow. So it takes time. Your footwork has to be on, the timing with the receiver. I mean, You talk about a contrast and a dichotomy in terms of what you did and what you're asked to do now. That's a 180.
The draw play doesn't go anywhere. Ryan Terrain dropped in the backfield by Turk McBride. Jim Schwartz, his defense has been good in this game.
His D-line has dominated this game. Here's McBride out here coming from his left end spot. There's that wide 9 technique. Look at the box it all in, and there's nobody even there to block him.
Back to the 11-yard line. 3rd and 10 for Washington. Stephon Heyer remains in at right tackle for the Redskins. We'll go with 3 wide receivers.
Look at Van den Bosch.
McNabb gets time, puts it up deep. He's got Anthony Armstrong down inside the Lions' 40-yard line. Beautiful throw by McNabb, who finally got some time, and the speedy Anthony Armstrong, the first-year man out of West Texas A&M, was open.
Watch the deep safety take the inside route and allow the post right behind it. You saw Louis Delmas, he bit the inside route. Donovan McNabb dials up the post right behind it, a little bit late throwing that ball, or Anthony Armstrong ends up taking it into the end zone. But that's exactly what we talked about. That's level 3 of the passing game, the first read for Donovan McNabb.
6th 50-yard completion for Donovan McNabb this season. That one goes to Santana Moss, who takes it out of bounds inside the 30-yard line. Donovan McNabb, 15th pass attempt of 40 yards or more, and he leads the NFL with 6 completions of 50 yards or more.
And really, it really finishes the story we've been talking about what they want to do in their passing game, deep to shallow. They're all about driving that ball down the football field, Kyle and Mike Shanahan.
At the Lions' 28-yard line, Roydell Williams, number 87, is in at wide receiver. Trying to go wide is Terrain, and he's short of the line of scrimmage. Loss of a couple of yards. C.C. Brown, the safety, comes up to make the tackle. 2 minutes remaining in the first half of a 7-7 game. Santana Moss, 1 catch, 12 yards in his game, but that catch put him over 8,000 yards in his career. Redskins with 2 tight ends in, along with 2 wide receivers. On 2nd down from the 30-yard line. Off the play fake, McNabb looking to set up the screen. Lions, he gets away. And McNabb slides down at the 20-yard line. Cliff Averill with big pressure on Donovan McNabb, but he got away.
Well, this is the story of this game. Look at this. First quarter, Kyle Van den Bosch. There's 1. There's 2. Kyle gets him on the ground. This is the first series, as a matter of fact. There's 3. Now he's going to get the payoff with a sack, Kyle Van den Bosch. And then now the second quarter comes around, and, well, we got to turn the guys to the outside on Van den Bosch. That opens it up for the inside, and then Ndamukong Suh has been dominant. Look at those numbers for Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator, and his defense. Really, really impressive.
There's a big 3rd down play. They have to get just inside the 18-yard line. Short drop by McNabb. He throws it. Oh! Dropped. Chris Houston had it, and he had an empty field. Excuse me, Alphonso Smith stepped in front of the intended receiver. And he had an empty field, wide open field, would have been a touchdown.
And McNabb's eyes the whole way looking out to Joey Galloway. That had no chance.
Oh, man.
To be completed. And then look at Alfonso. Look at him peek inside. Alfonso Smith, 27. Looks inside, reads the eyes of the quarterback. As soon as Donovan pulled that non-throwing hand off the ball, he made his break. And the Redskins are lucky that one wasn't a house call for 6 points.
38-yard field goal try for Graham Gano, and it's inside the upright, and the Redskins have taken the lead. Gano with his 14th field goal of the season, and the Redskins lead it 10-7. Last time the Lions played the Washington Redskins, the Lions were riding a 19-game losing streak.
Time for a change, baby. Time for a change, baby.
Well, Grady Jackson said it was time for a change, and it was. Matthew Stafford hit Brian Johnson. Lions had the lead. Back came the Redskins. Jason Campbell to Santana Moss. Then it was Maurice Morris with a touchdown run, and the Lions with the win, 19-14. First NFL win for Matthew Stafford, and that broke that losing streak of 19 straight.
And I'll tell you, just kind of knowing Jim Schwartz and talking to him quite a bit, and knowing this team over the years coming here, they haven't gotten the payoff with wins, and that's obvious. But they are a much better football team, and there's no question about that. They've got playmakers offensively. Haven't really gotten those guys uncorked here, but to me the biggest difference is the defensive line. And I mean, it is totally clear, the whole deal with the kid who's down in Tampa now versus Ndamukong Suh, and who's the best defensive lineman? Not even close. Ndamukong Suh right there, number 90, head and shoulders above what Gerald McCoy is down in Tampa.
I think when they get their linebackers set, and DeAndre Levy has been hurt, Julian Peterson looks like he's
better.
Getting,
it's towards the end.
Toward
for sure.
the end of the line for him. When they get those linebackers set, it could be a very, very dominant defense. Long kickoff by Graham Gano, and Stefan Logan takes a knee for a touchback. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Coming up is the Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy back in the studio. They have highlights of the Packers and the Jets, and they will discuss the Cowboys situation. What's going on with Dallas? Now the injury to Tony Romo. They're trailing 14-3 at home to Jacksonville. Nightmare of a season.
That story's
for the
getting old.
Cowboys.
It's not changing.
Albert Hainsworth is in. Rushing from the outside from a stand-up position. That pass to Javid Best. Complete up to the 28-yard line. That's something we don't often see. Albert Hainsworth on the outside, stand up and rush.
Yeah, they'll use him in a lot of different alignments, whether he's standing up, milling around the ball, getting to the outside. They did a lot of it in Tennessee when Jim Schwartz was there as the defensive coordinator.
Out of the shotgun, Stafford throws it away, trying to throw it toward the direction of Javid Best. And they want to make sure it got back to the line of scrimmage. That's what the officials are discussing. Otherwise, it'd be intentional grounding.
Javid Best has been slowed up in terms of the production and getting into the end zone. You can say that when you looked at what he was able to do and getting touchdowns in the first 3 weeks with the 5. But the bye week came at a great time for him, Sam, with his toe injuries.
Albert Hainsworth hurt his wrist and went to the sideline. And now it looks like we've got a timeout for the Redskins. There you see Albert Hainsworth flexing his arm on the sideline.
Well, he was coming off the edge against Jeff Backus on that last play is what happened, and he fell down awkwardly and got off and ran right to the sideline.
Don't forget, we've got non-stop sports right here. Second game of the NFL doubleheader, post-game coverage, and then Game 4 of the World Series. Texas Rangers coming alive last night.
Got a series, baby. We've got a series.
It's 2-1. The Giants leading it, but Game 4 tonight in Texas, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And of course, Tim.
Did you see me in the kayak?
Yeah.
I actually
in
was
McCovey
in my
Cove?
Well, I was in my bass tube, actually. I didn't take the kayak out there.
Joe Buck, Tim McCarver on the call. Tonight, Game 4 of the World Series. 3 wide receivers on 3rd and 1. Stafford, pressure, steps up, and puts it up, lofts it for Calvin Johnson, and he didn't put it deep enough. Calvin Johnson was behind the defender by a couple of yards. LaRon Landry, the safety, trying to cover him, but Stafford didn't throw it up deep enough.
No, and everything was executed perfectly with the exception of the throw. All this work by Stafford, now it's all about the scramble drill. If you're shallow, go deep. Calvin was shallow, he went deep, had about 5 steps on LaRon Landry, and just too much air under the football after being thrown there from Matt Stafford.
6th punt of the game for Nick Harris of the Lions. This is a low line drive. Brandon Banks takes it on a big bounce, brings it back. Can he get another block? He is brought down as he crosses midfield. Good return by the man who's just 5'7", 155 pounds, the rookie Brandon Banks. 23-yard punt return. Mike Shanahan has done a quick turnaround in his first year with the Washington Redskins. His team tied for second place in the NFC East. He's restored credibility and belief in the players.
Well, I think they feel like going into every game, every Sunday, they feel like they have a chance to win. And we know from being there, Sam, over the last 2 years doing their games, that certainly had not been the case.
Good field position for the Redskins. McNabb out of the shotgun. Throws and completes to Santana Moss down to the 41-yard line. Redskins call timeout. And they are out of timeouts. McNabb has been involved in a little of everything. Taken a lot of hits, felt a lot of pressure, run with the ball well, and he's 9 for 14, hit a 50-yarder.
And I got to tell you, when you look at that rating, it's pretty impressive considering all the pressure that he's been under here today. Look what he's done here this season. And we talked about it being up, being down, being up and down, and really not having a great feel for the new system and the new scheme.
Still learning what it's all about. But he's made some big plays.
And I don't care what happens in the locker room at halftime. If you're Mike Shanahan, you better figure out how to get those guys blocked up front, that front four.
They've had 4 sacks and a lot of hits on Donovan McNabb.
They have been dominant, that Detroit front, in this game.
11 seconds to go. Everybody out. McNabb goes short. Ryan Terrain gets out of bounds at the Lions' 28-yard line, and they are in field goal position. And here comes Graham Gano and the field goal kicking unit. Good job by McNabb and Terrain hooking up. The Lions gave them all kinds of room, and they took advantage of it.
And not a great job. I believe it was Nathan Vasher. You got to tackle that guy and use the sideline. Force him to the outside and get him out of bounds. He cut back inside and picked up another extra 5 or 6 yards. It's going to help Gano here on this field goal opportunity.
Straight up. 46-yard attempt out of the hold of Hunter Smith. The kick is down the middle and through. So a couple of plays. A big 3 points for the Redskins at the end of the first half. Donovan McNabb made it happen. And the Redskins head for the locker room with a 13-7 lead over the Detroit Lions. Coming up, the Visa halftime report. Stay tuned. They've got highlights, analysis, and up to the second stats. Welcome back to beautiful Ford Field. You're inside. The big concourse is here. And here at halftime, the Washington Redskins 13-7 lead.
Bro, you're scared.
Who's my pal here? Hey, pal. That's my alter ego. The interesting dynamic of the Washington Redskins. Mike Shanahan, the head coach, who's his offensive coordinator, his son Kyle. Kyle said, that's what I wanted to do always, is to work alongside his dad. And Mike told us yesterday that was his first choice.
Yeah, and he didn't know if it was going to be good for Kyle with all the good stuff they had going on down in Houston. But what do you call him? I mean, I love the family element. And can it be Dad? I don't think it can be Dad. That's not going to work around the fellas. Mike, I don't think he's just comfortable calling Dad by his first name. That never works. Coach, I guess that one could work.
You could get by with Coach.
But this is the one I think that Kyle over here has finally come to the conclusion that that's the one that works. That's the one that works around the fellas. That's the one that works everywhere. And he'll be laying out a play. He said the boss will give him some instruction and maybe some suggestions, and he'll look to the players and he'll say, look, fellas, the boss suggests we do this. It's never Dad. It's never Mike.
Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL.
And you know what? I thought Mike made a good point. Kyle said, look, as soon as he got another opportunity, I was going to go join him. But Mike said, I don't know if it's the best thing for him. The Houston situation is going great. It's not going to be an overnight fix. But Kyle said, yeah, it is, Coach. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, boss. I'm coming.
Graham Gano kicking off. Stephon Logan from the 1. As we start the second half. Logan with a blocker in front of him. And it was Gano, the kicker, who made the tackle at the 28-yard line. Let's go to Carissa Thompson who will update us on what the coaches had to say. Carissa.
Well, you really didn't need to talk to Coach Schwartz right before halftime on that last-second field goal. He threw down his headset, not too happy with his group, but very impressed with what his defense, of course, is doing up front. They've been able to get pressure on McNabb. So for Coach Shanahan, he says we got to do a better job up front. We cannot give those things up. We have to establish our running game. We have to also continue to take shots downfield. That's where they've had success. For Matt Stafford, got to play better overall.
Thanks, Carissa. From the 29, Javon Best gets a yard on the first down play. Rocky McIntosh made the stop.
And I think if you're Matthew Stafford, it's really just about the missed opportunities, and he had some. You'll see right here, he's got Calvin Johnson one-on-one with D'Angelo Hall. You got to put that up over the top where only Calvin can get it. And then you'll see here, as all the scramble rules apply, your shallow go deep. There it is, it's wide open. And it just doesn't happen because the throw's not right. That would have been an easy 6 points. So a couple of plays I would think Matt Stafford, Sam wishes he had back.
Out of the shotgun, 3 wide receivers. Stafford gets time, goes short to the tight end Pettigrew. London Fletcher all over him. Knocked it away. Good coverage by London Fletcher on the play.
He is so multifaceted, London Fletcher. Look at that quarterback rating for Stafford. I'll tell you this, though, and the 7 weeks off certainly plays into those numbers. But I got to tell you, I think for the most part, the offensive line has done a good job in protecting him. We all know the Redskins with Arakpo and Hainsworth, and those guys can rush the passer.
Hainsworth is in along with Vonnie Holliday and Andre Carter on 3rd and 9. There's pressure, and they got him. And there's Albert Hainsworth. He lined up inside. He came from the outside. And first sack of the game for the Redskins.
Now, that's exactly what I was talking about. Up until now, they had done a good job against those dominant pass rushers. Hainsworth lines up on the inside at right defensive tackle. You'll see him here. Arakpo's going to come inside, and now Albert Hainsworth is going to pop right to the outside. And that was a man protection where Rob Sims had to try to get out there and stay with Albert Hainsworth. No chance.
The punt by Nick Harris. Good high kick. Brandon Banks looks around, drops the ball. Got it back and is brought down at the 25-yard line by John Wendling. Banks was looking for a return, took his eyes off the ball, fumbled, and covered it.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. By Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by the new comedy from Warner Brothers Pictures, Due Date. In theaters everywhere November 5th.
Lions defensive line has done a great job. They have 4 sacks in the game. Donovan McNabb has now been sacked 14 times in the last 4 games. Keelan Williams starts at running back. Fumble! They missed the handoff. McNabb got it back.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be a fake. Faking the draw, and then Donovan was going to throw it. Everybody was in full-blown pass protection. The routes were all down the field. Let's watch Keelan Williams here. I think Donovan's trying to pull it back out. Yeah, he is. He tried to pull it back out and just lost his grip on it.
You're right. Ball's back to the 20-yard line. Loss of 5 on the play. You can see how upset Donovan McNabb is.
No one said this was going to be easy.
Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, on the sideline. Short drop, quick pass is complete up to the 26-yard line to Santana Moss. Alfonso Smith with the tackle.
And you know what you see there, and look at the defensive tackles and what they're doing up front. And Ndamukong Suh with the 4 tackles with the 2 sacks, awesome. You know, that last throw from Donovan McNabb is what we saw for years in Philadelphia. Classic, right. You know, X slant to the X receiver who's slanting inside. That's where Donovan has clearly been at his best. And you could see the comfort level when he threw that football to Santana Moss.
Have to get to the 35 for a first down. Keelan Williams in the backfield. Blitz coming. They picked it up, but he throws too high. Intended for Chris Cooley. They got there late. They slowed the blitz down a little bit, but it got there right at the end.
Yeah, and watch what they do to Cooley here. They're not going to give him a free release now. You're going to get your hands on him, disrupt the timing. and that probably ended up affecting the depth of the route. But you could tell Donovan does not feel in sync with where his outlets are going to be. It was a great job in the blitz pickup and just really did not get it out on time to Cooley in a good spot.
Punt by Hunter Smith is out of bounds. He angled it out of bounds, trying to keep it away from Stephon Logan. But the Lions are going to get great field position. It's all the way up at the 48-yard line. So not much on that punt by Hunter Smith, 23 yards. Fans enjoying a Halloween Sunday here at Ford Field. Don't go away. Last night, it was the Texas Rangers. Josh Hamilton had a solo homer. Mitch Moreland a 3-run homer. Rangers with a 4-2 win to get back in the series. It's 2-1. Game 4 at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on Fox. Lions from the 47. Stafford swings it out to Javid Best. He brought it down. He fights his way for 1 yard. And D'Angelo Hall grabbed his leg and pulled him out of bounds.
Tell you, Javid Best, I've heard coordinators around this league, and with all, you know, we totally respect Calvin and what he is, Calvin Johnson, and the guy's made a lot of plays in this league, but I've talked to a lot of coordinators that think Javid Best is the best football player on this Lions football team as a rookie.
See the numbers for the Lions offensively. On 2nd and 9. Stafford throwing a little behind Nate Burleson, but he reached back and made the grab. Good catch by Burleson down at the Redskins 46-yard line.
I talked about the rust of Matthew Stafford, and let's all remember that he hurt his throwing shoulder week 1 against Chicago. Hasn't really done much in 7 weeks, certainly within the confines of the offense. It's only his 12th start, so you know that he's still raw, and he is just a little out of sync when you look at him today delivering the football on time with accuracy.
Tony Scheffler, the tight end, 3 wide receivers. Albert Hainsworth is in on the defensive line. Stand up on the outside.
I got to tell you, we got to give Jeff Backus some props. The left tackle, he's been here forever. He's going to be right here on Arakpo and does a good job of keeping him off the quarterback. Arakpo's got 7 sacks, but you know, Jeff Backus has been under a lot of heat. He gave up that sack week 1 against Julius Peppers and where Stafford got hurt, but ever since then, Jeff Backus has been lights out against some premier rushers in this league.
Calvin Johnson, 4 catches, 47 yards. They go 3 wide receivers. Javid Best carries, good hole. The quickness of Javid Best, and showing some strength as well as he carries down to the 16-yard line. A 20-yard run for Javid Best.
That's that little spread power that I was talking about. Watch Steven Peterman. He's going to get a nice block right there on London Fletcher, number 59. See, London gets right up in the gap. There's the block, and then there's the crease. Raiola with a nice block on Rocky McIntosh. But that's what you do with Javid Best. You spread everybody out. You give him more room, more running lanes that he can wiggle up inside.
Longest run of the game for the Lions. First down at the Redskins 16. Stafford gets time. The high throw is brought in by Nate Burleson, and he gets down to the 9-yard line. So the Lions have put together a nice drive, which started in great field position at their own 48.
Yeah, good job here with the locked routes versus zone. Both guys are just running stop routes. He pumped inside to Scheffler and then found Burleson.
A hurry-up offense, got to the line in a hurry. Now Stafford steps back, checks the defense, hands to Best. And got a tough yard, maybe 2 down to the 7-yard line. Lorenzo Alexander with the tackle.
Well, that's the package that they do not run, that offenses cannot run on them. I mean, you look at this formation. That was the old Okie defense.
Here's the hurry up again.
They have not gotten 3 yards of carry against the Redskins when they're in that formation all season.
Stafford looks it over. 3 wide receivers. The tight end Tony Scheffler to the right side. It's Best trying to get outside. Redskins are there. Good tackle by Laurent Landry. Short of the first down.
I'll tell you who made that play, Albert Hainsworth. Now, he didn't get the tackle, but he came flying through there. Watch the arm over by Albert Hainsworth, and watch him as he gets into the backfield. Whap! Now he's going to force that thing to bounce and go wide. And as soon as he got a hand on him, now Javid Best had to worry about Albert Hainsworth, had to kick it to the perimeter, there was a bunch of guys there waiting for him.
They tried the no huddle and the hurry up to prevent the substitutions of the Redskins. Redskins able to come through it. This is a 25-yard attempt for Jason Hansen, who's 11 for 13 this season. Movement on the line.
Oh, that's going to be a
first down.
You bet.
Unless they were drawn offside. Lions think it's against Washington. Jerome Boger is our referee. 7th year in the NFL.
See if this is going to be encroachment or going to get him for drawing him offside. I think Jimmy Schwartz is pretty sure of himself.
Defense, number 93. Half a distance to the goal. Resulting in a first down.
Philip Daniels, who was injured earlier, back in the game.
What a critical error. What a critical error. And Philip's been in this league long enough. You got to know that. I mean, I know you want to get the block and you want to be part of it, but it's 4th and less than 5, and you know that you give them anything, it's a first down inside your 5-yard line. Big time error for the Redskins on defense. 1st and goal at the 3. Kevin Smith in at running back. 3 wide receivers. Brandon Pettigrew, the tight end, to the right side. It's Kevin Smith. They got to him just as he took the handoff. Maybe got a yard down to the 2-yard line. You know why you pay Albert Haynesworth all that money is because he can do this. And when he's motivated, which he clearly has been over the last 3 games, watch this. No chance. Dominic Raiola trying to block back on him. And what you like about Albert right there is he's typically been penetrating. He did a great job there of not penetrating too deep and then blowing up the back block by Raiola.
They go empty backfield. Kevin Smith split out to the left. Pettigrew's the tight end. Stafford being blitzed. Throws. Touchdown to the tight end, Brandon Pettigrew. Lions with a good drive, but it was helped out by the encroachment penalty on the Redskins on the field goal alignment. The Redskins kept the Lions drive alive, and the Lions put it in the end zone. Pettigrew's 2nd touchdown reception of the season. Jason Hansen to give the Lions the lead, and they have it.
I hate to use a basketball analogy, but post it up and go to the block, baby. He's going to get right there, and he's just going to turn and post up on Rocky McIntosh. Stafford sees the blitz and delivers a perfect football.
Today's game is sponsored by Chevrolet. Every model is backed by a 100,000-mile, 5-year powertrain limited warranty.
Back at Ford Field in Detroit, Matthew Stafford throwing a touchdown pass to Brandon Pettigrew, the tight end, his 2nd touchdown reception of the season.
And he's having a terrific season. He leads the Lions in catches. Sam, he is 1 year removed from that ACL tear in his knee, so remarkable recovery for him.
Brandon Banks for the Redskins from the 5. Has a blocker, has a lane. Here he goes. They're not going to catch Brandon Banks. There is a flag on the play back at the 15-yard line as Banks goes all the way. It's a 95-yard return, but back at the 16-yard line, there's a flag.
Illegal block in the back.
Look at the young fella.
Number 37. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Wow. Well, in 10 minutes, they have drastically self-destructed the offsides and then that illegal block. Sam, there you see Reed Dowdy on Stephon Logan, and he'll get the block in the back right there. And it's just enough of a push as Logan was in position to make a tackle. 2 catastrophic errors on special teams. The field goal block unit, and of course right there on kickoff return.
Redskins start from the 7, quick outside of Santana Moss, and it's covered beautifully by the Lions. Now, here's a problem for the Redskins. Their starting running back, Ryan Terrain, is out with a hamstring problem, so the rookie out of LSU, number 35, Keelan Williams, has to carry the loaded running back.
And it will absolutely stress them. There's Ryan Terrain right there. They came in and dressed only 2 tailbacks for the football game today. As we know, Clinton Portis has been down with the torn groin. Keelan Williams had 3 starts in his career, Sam, at LSU.
Wow.
He's a college free agent. I would think Gunther's going to send some blitz right at him to check him in protection. Here it comes.
There they come. They got the hit on McNabb. That was C.C. Brown, the safety, coming right up the middle. Another hit on Donovan McNabb.
And why wouldn't you do that? You bring in, they got a rookie college free agent in the backfield. Here's C.C. Brown. He's going to get up, and then watch Keelan Williams gets out here. That's exactly what I talked about. They challenged him in protection, and they won.
3rd and 10. Redskins have had 6 3-and-outs in the game. And right here, they've got 3rd and 10. Kirk McBride in on the defensive line for the Lions. McNabb in trouble. Gets out of the end zone. Completes to Cooley. And he fights his way to the 17, but it looks like he's short of the first down. DeAndre Levy made the tackle. There is a flag on the play.
Yeah, they're going to get a face mask, I believe. Remember, there's no 5-yarder anymore in pro football, so it's 15.
Face mask. Defense, number 24. 15-yard penalty after the end of the run. First down.
That's the cornerback, Jonathan Wade. Penalties have hurt Jim Schwartz's team throughout this season.
Boy, McNabb's been under major pressure all day. Here it is. Cooley, as he's getting tackled now, he's just going get it to try to get the extra yards. And it was actually Jonathan Wade that had him by the face mask.
Yes.
Right. That Levy was tackling him low. Wade had him up high, left hand right on the mask and ripping it to the side.
So out of the shadow of the goalpost come the Redskins up to the 32. Cooley motions. There's Williams taking it outside. Keelan Williams up to the 40-yard line. Keelan Williams, 5'11", 230 out of LSU. Let's check out. Well, we were going to check out, but we're going to stay here for a moment. We'll check it out. I know Kurt's getting ready. He's got his updates coming. It'll take a little longer because we're waiting for the update from London. Where the
It's my best Mick Jagger, by the way.
Sir Tim Ryan. Well, all right. 2nd and 2 for the Redskins. Off the play fake. McNabb to Cooley. Slips a man. Slips another one. Oh, good play by Chris Cooley. All right. Here comes London to Kurt Menefee.
Well, Sam, Tim Tebow has yet to throw an NFL pass, but he's already run for a touchdown on each side of the Atlantic. That 1-yard score gave the Broncos a 7-3 lead over the 49ers as they start the 4th quarter. And Sam, we picked up the false start flag simply because we're the best.
Thanks, Kurt. 49ers continue to struggle. Denver needs a win at 2-5. Cooley, 4 catches, 47 yards. The ball at the Lions' 40-yard line. Keelan Williams brought down. Good tackle, but now a late flag. Corey Williams, number 99, with a tackle. Let's check out the flag here.
Holding. Offense. Number 61. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
That's on the center, Casey Robach.
Well, and they've dominated inside that front 4. Here's Corey Williams here. Now watch him press the front side gap here. And Casey Robach's got to hold him or he's killing that thing for a 5-yard loss in the backfield. And we talked about it. Anytime you run that zone run game, whether it's the outside stretch or the inside zone, it's absolutely critical that you get the 2 defensive tackles blocked. Sam, they have not been able to achieve that all day today.
6 penalties for each team. Redskins 1st and 20 at midfield. Joey Galloway, 3rd wide receiver. Slant completed to Anthony Armstrong. Picks up 7 down to the 43. Alphonso Smith covering. Here is Anthony Armstrong, who had played in the Intense Football League, which is, I believe, is a subdivision of the Arena Football League. And somehow he got an opportunity he's made the most of. He's got great speed, and he had a good camp and made the team.
Yeah, just kept beating everybody out. Was on the practice squad down in Miami, then the practice squad up here. He's been a pleasant surprise.
2 tight ends in for Washington on 2nd down. McNabb in trouble. Gets rid of it, low, and it was juggled, and did it hit the ground? Yes. The official on the sideline said it hit the ground. Chris Cooley questions it, but is resigned to the call by the official.
Well, Mike Shanahan knows he better get that inside pressure shored up, because again, it was Corey Williams that time who was coming right up the gut and putting gut pressure on Donovan McNabb. And I think the more you talk about this scheme and wanting the quarterback to step up in the pocket, the more you need to block those defensive tackles. Again, I would think we're going to see more edge plays now out of McNabb to get away from that gut pressure. More of the nakeds, more of the bootlegs, more of the edge plays.
3rd and long. 3rd and 13. Have to get to the 30 for a first down. And the Redskins step back and call timeout to talk this one over. Lions with a 14-13 lead.
Sam, there's the offensive line coach, Chris Forster, right there. And you look at what the offensive line has been able to do today, and they have had it handed to them.
Oh, yeah.
And I would think it's going to get worse because they've got the rookie running back out there now, Keelan Williams, which tells me more inside pressure coming from Gunther Cunningham.
Tight end Fred Davis lines up in the backfield. They give McNabb some protection. He's got time. He throws, and it's tipped away. Jonathan Wade just got a hand on it at the last moment. Santana Moss was open a couple of yards behind him, but Wade got a piece of the football, enough to deflect it and break it up.
And again, out of sync. It's the little details in terms of this being out of sync. That ball should have been thrown already. You got Santana Moss sitting out there and basically in a cover 2 beater, getting behind the corner and up in front of the safety. That's called the cover 2 hole. That typically needs to be hit right on the run. He was out there waiting for it, which gave the defender time to get the breakup.
8th punt for Hunter Smith. Stephon Logan, fair catch at the 8-yard line. Make it the 9. The Lions will play. They're 1-5, but they have been close in most of their games. This is a big day on Fox. Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader, America's Game of the Week. The Vikings and the Patriots at New England. Tom Brady and the Pats are 5-1, battling the Jets for first place in the AFC East. The Vikings, they need a win desperately.
It's a must-win for them. You look at the Patriots at home during the regular season. I think Tom Brady's got 23 consecutive wins under his belt up at Gillette in the regular season.
3 wide receivers. Brian Johnson, the 3rd wide out. Oh, a big hit right away. LaRon Landry with a hit on Nate Burleson. A gain of a couple of yards, but what a close by the safety, LaRon Landry.
Oh, he's got great velocity and explosion. Maybe the most explosive player on this defense, and is much better in this scheme. Listen to this.
That's a pop.
Yeah, he's much better, closer to the line of scrimmage, and I think Jim Haslett knows how to use him. He's number 2 in tackles on this defense and really flies around everywhere.
Albert Hainsworth and Vonnie Holliday in on the defensive line. Andre Carter is in there as well. Javon Best trying to get outside, and does. Turn the corner, gets a first down as he's out of bounds at the 20-yard line. LaRon Landry chased him out of bounds, but a nice run by Javon Best. 10 carries, 46 yards. He had the great start. He had the first 5 touchdowns of the season for the Lions in games 1 and 2. We had him week 2 against the Eagles. He was tremendous in that game.
And here's what you like today. And that's the area they certainly focused on, point of emphasis during the off week. Get that running number up in yards per attempt. He's much better today.
Stafford gets time, completes to Calvin Johnson. Up to the 34-yard line. Kareem Moore made the tackle, but another first down. A pickup of 14 on the play.
Yeah, and they call this the dig route. Look, D'Angelo Hall on him. He's going to take it and then take the inside away from D'Angelo Hall. Brings him on a little motion. Now, D'Angelo's got help to the inside, so he's going to play from a trail position. Safety late, getting over in Kareem Moore. And that's what it does. I mean, if you can throw that thing on time versus that zone defense, pretty easy to complete for Stafford and Calvin.
2 tight ends in. Javon Best carrying, no gain there. As he was hit hard, good play by the man in the middle, Maake Kemoeatu, who played last season with Carolina. He also played with the Baltimore Ravens before that, the man is a big man, takes up a lot of space on the inside.
Oh, he is a house now, and they typically use him for first and second down. And they would, as you just said, space. He is what you call a space eater and good at it.
2nd and 10. Kevin Smith in at running back, lines up in the backfield with Stafford. Stafford throws and it's broken up. Trying to get it to Brandon Pettigrew. That was good coverage on the play by LaRon Landry. Landry's playing well in this game.
He really is, and does a good job here. Look at his eyes are on the quarterback, so he does a good job. He knows he's in zone, and look at him split the difference between these two receivers. And now he's going to read the quarterback. All right, there's the break. Typically what those guys do, Sam, in zone, and I said it earlier, is they watch the quarterback. They get to their landmark, and as soon as that non-throwing hand comes off, they know the ball's getting ready to be thrown, and they make a break on the receiver. That was perfect.
Hainsworth and Holiday are in for the Redskins. Hainsworth lines up outside. Stafford on 3rd and 10. Throws short. It's complete to Nate Burleson. Turns it into a first down. Breaks a tackle. Lost the football. And it's recovered by London Fletcher. Fletcher all the way downfield, chasing the play. The fumble by Burleson is recovered by Washington.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame. If you're the Lions, I mean, everything is perfect, and then the Redskins out of nowhere come and knock it out from behind. Phillip Buchanan again. Look at this play by Phillip. He has done it year after year, and that's exactly what he's thinking right there. He sees it from behind. I'm going to knock it out. It stays in bounds, and London Fletcher gets the recovery.
Huge turnover.
And takeaways.
Yeah,
that's it.
Great job by the Redskins. Came into the game second in the league in takeaways with 17. They've had a couple in this game. They have the ball on their 24. Stephon Heyer is in at right tackle. He's been alternating with Jamal Brown for the Redskins. Keelan Williams gets outside. Hard runner. Bounced off one man and is out of bounds up at the 30-yard line. A pickup of 6 on the play. And the injured player is C.C. Brown, the safety for the Lions. And I think that was the first man to hit Keelan Williams, but he's holding his one of his legs.
It's like his right knee he's holding, Sam, and that'll stress him now. Amari Spivey would be the next guy in. The 3rd-round draft choice who was drafted as a corner.
Right. And switched recently to safety. So the Lions had something going offensively, turned the ball over. Now let's see this play.
There he is, 39. Just the way he went down, it looked like his knee just got caught awkwardly underneath him.
Check out C.C. Brown. Under a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter. Lions leading 14-13. Jim Haslett. They work on takeaways as most defenses do. Every game, every practice, they spend time on turnovers, takeaways, going for the ball. They've had 2 takeaways in the game and moved past Tennessee and Chicago. C.C. Brown needs help to get to the sideline. The Lions at 1-5. In 4 of their 5 losses, they've had the lead in the game. Nate Burleson.
I think part of that is they've lost so much here, and I know they're not Jimmy's losses, and this roster has certainly changed, but hard to flip that culture until it really starts happening. I have the feeling, though, the Lions, when they finally do start winning games, Sam, and get that feeling, and it's really all about confidence, and get that feeling, I think that you could open it up for a bunch of wins in a row and the opportunity to go on a run, because they're a good football team with a lot of talent.
I agree with you. They need some positive things to happen, and there's a situation where something negative happens, and subconsciously I would think, Tim, players have to say, uh-oh, here we go again.
Yeah, no, it's hard to protect against that for sure.
Amari Spivey, had a look at him. There's Drew Stafford. There is Matthew Stafford on the sideline. Amari Spivey is in at safety, replacing the injured C.C. Brown, rookie out of Iowa. Spivey Keelan Williams trying to cut it back. Good play up front.
Corey Williams again.
Line.
Corey Williams again. That time he forces the quick cutback of Keelan Williams. And he has been terrific. What a find here by Martin Mayhew. Here he is again. Penetration versus the zone scheme. And I mean, he just gets right in between Lichtensteiger. That is a hard block for Casey Robach. He has no chance to block that front side. It was a great get for Martin Mayhew and these Lions going and getting Corey Williams.
Cliff Averill wound up making the tackle. We have come to the end of the third quarter in a tight, tough defensive battle on Halloween. And no fooling around for the players. Lions lead it. Everyone, welcome back to Ford Field in Detroit. Sam Rosen, Tim Ryan, Carissa Thompson as we start the fourth quarter. The Redskins trailing 14-13 have a 3rd and 4. They are 2 for 11 on third down conversions in the game.
At least they got a third manageable here. That hasn't been the story today.
And movement on the line.
Oh, man.
I think Stephon Hire, false start on the right side.
Start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Give it to Artis Hicks, the right guard.
Well, that's what happens when you got D tackles that are rolling off the rock and kicking butt. And again, they didn't want to be in 3rd and 4. Back now to a 3rd and long. Look at the yards, Sam, through 3 quarters for both of these teams. Time of possession really close. Of course, turnover is the difference.
Yeah.
Neither team, with the exception of McNabb on the long run, has been able to run the football very well.
Washington with the 2 takeaways. They're plus 10 in turnover differential on the season. One of the best in the NFL. So 3rd and 4 became 3rd and 9. Joey Galloway in as a 3rd wide receiver. McNabb for Galloway. He stopped. And the pass was out in front of him. It went off his hands. Jonathan Wade, the cover man.
Yeah, they are just uneven in their passing game play. And that time they maxed up with 7 protectors. The Lions chose to rush only 4. And McNabb still rushed the ball out of there and was out of sync with the receiver, Joey Galloway. And he was wide open versus the deep shell coverage.
Busy day for Hunter Smith. His 9th punt of the game is a good high kick. Stephon Logan waits for a fair catch and has it at the 29-yard line. Redskins struggling on offense. And they trail 14-13.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Toyota. By FedEx, we understand you need a winning game plan. FedEx. And by Lowe's. Lowe's, let's build something together.
More great football action coming your way. After this one is over, don't move. We've got America's Game of the Week with the Vikings and Randy Moss making his return to New England. Vikings and Patriots, game 2 of our Fox NFL doubleheader. Lions from the 30-yard line with a 1-point lead. Stafford quickly outside of Burleson. Right back to him. Last time he caught the ball, he was caught from behind and he fumbled. This time LaRon Landry, another good tackle.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to get ready now for a little pump ISO and then send this guy on a post, because Landry has been all over these little quick hitches. I mean, he is just reading that thing.
Wow.
Now imagine if they do this with Calvin. I would think we got some type of adjustment coming to take advantage of the aggressiveness, and he's been lights out today in LaRon Landry.
Javid Best splits out wide left, empty backfield. Now Best is waved back in by Stafford. They lost 2 on that last play. Here's 2nd and 12, hands it to Best, going inside, gets back to the 30-yard line. Will bring up a 3rd and 10.
You know how you work from a position of leverage? Watch London Fletcher. Rob Sims is going to pull and hit 59 right here in the hole. Watch this collision. Watch the leverage win by London Fletcher. Bang. Ooh. Get right up under his pads and knock a 310-pounder 3 yards into the backfield.
Hainsworth and Holiday, and on the defensive line for the Redskins, LaRon Landry, we've been talking about him, has 8 tackles in the game.
Here he comes again.
They fake the blitz. 3 wide receivers in. Blitz coming on 3rd and 10. Stafford to Javid Best. Short gain as he's wrapped up by D'Angelo Hall. And it's 3 and out for the Lions. We use that term a lot for both teams. 3 and out as Jim Schwartz looks on. Matthew Stafford talks with his offensive coordinator, Scott Linehan.
About Linehan and Hazlitt matching wits. They got a little history together, don't they, in St. Louis?
Yes, they do. Got a lot of those good matchups. 8th punt of the game for Nick Harris. Good high kick. Backing up, Brandon Banks takes it at the 19. Gets room on the sideline. Here he goes again, tripped up. The punter, Nick Harris, got a piece of him. Banks fell forward to the 46 of the Redskins. The return men have been dangerous in this game.
Really good job by Carlos Rogers. Look at him, he's just going to buy his time, and now he's able to seal off or at least get in front of Jonathan Wade so he can't get out to contain.
Lions starting safety C.C. Brown with ice on his right knee. Doubtful return. He's been replaced by Amari Spivey, the rookie out of Iowa. Starting from the Lions 46, McNabb steps up, throwing deep, and completes it to Anthony Armstrong. He found him again, this time down to the 11, and he went again.
Time this route takes. I mean, that is a 5-second route. Spivey had no chance. I mean, once Anthony Armstrong out-leveraged him, he had no chance to play catch-up, so you love it. I mean, Kyle Shanahan, you see a rookie out there for the starter, go right after him, and they capitalize.
35-yard pickup. Armstrong, 3 catches, 92 yards. Here's Keelan Williams, and he was tripped up at the 5. If Spivey misses that tackle, Williams is in for a touchdown.
Well, and that was another good call by Kyle Shanahan. There's Cooley on the sideline getting wrapped up with his oblique there. But another good call there by Shanahan. Now you're going to test the run fits of Amari Spivey. They ran right at him. He was the guy that had to come up and make the fit. To his credit, he saved a touchdown with that tackle.
Fred Davis is the tight end to the left side. Chris Cooley is being checked out on the sideline. Here's Keelan Williams cutting back. He's in. Touchdown for Keelan Williams, his first NFL touchdown, and the Redskins take the lead.
And I love the fact that it's right up the middle, basically putting that safety on an island on the backside to make a play, being Amari Spivey. They challenged him all 3 plays. And you don't see him in your screen here, but he's going to flash in 42. Spivey, there he is. So you checked him in the pass and you got him, and you checked him 2 times in the run game and where his run fits were going to be as a run defender, and you were able to capitalize all 3 times on the rookie. Great play calling, better execution by the Redskins offense.
They're going for 2. McNabb throws, and it's off the hands of Fred Davis, incomplete. So the Redskins try to up that lead to 7, but the hard pass went off the hands of the tight end Fred Davis. Redskins lead 19-14.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Windows 7.
Back at Ford Field in Detroit. Kyle Shanahan checking his offensive playbook. The rookie, Amari Spivey, was challenged by Shanahan and the Redskins, and the Redskins took advantage. Short kickoff by Graham Gano, taken up ahead on the 15-yard line, and the good return by the fullback Jerome Felton, who is the up man. He gets into Redskins territory down the 47-yard line. The return game of both teams has been good.
And what's interesting is both teams have been outstanding covering kicks all year. The Redskins have been #1 in the league coming in at not even 18 yards of return. Nice block there from Will Heller. They get some good seal-ups from Vinny Churchill. And that's why you put those guys at the wing spot that can actually run. And Felton can certainly do that, because when your returner becomes a problem, teams do the pooch kick. Kicked it right to the wing, Felton, who turned it into a nice return past the 50.
38-yard return, 2 tight ends in. The handoff to Kevin Smith, cuts it back. Tries to get outside. Good run by Smith on first down. Out of bounds at the 35. Well, let's find out what's happening at New England. Let's go to Kurt Menefee.
Well, it's the most talked about ankle in America. Will he or won't he? Looks like Brett Favre will indeed start as the Vikings go to face the Patriots. Randy Moss back in New England for the first time since the trade. We'll have it for you. America's Game of the Week. And you guys are done in downtown Detroit. Sam and Tim.
Thanks, Kurt. At the 35-yard line, Lions 1st and 10. Kevin Smith shifts back. 3 wide receivers. Smith on the carry. Fights his way for 3 yards. All right. You wonder about the audio we bring you from the field? A Parab brings it to you. Oh!
Is that the Parab that he just ran into?
They thought it was a tackling dummy.
he got his hat back on quick, though. Did you see him? I get my headset straight, my hat on.
Wow. Took a hit. Hainsworth is in at defensive tackle. Philip Buchanan, the 5th defensive back for the Redskins on 2nd and 7. Stafford gets time and throws a little wide of Bryant Johnson.
Sam, and tongue-in-cheek, you know, having fun with the Parab and the guy getting hit over there. I got to tell you, it's a hazardous job being down on the sidelines. And if you've ever been on the sideline for an NFL game, you know what I'm talking about with the speed and the game. And look at Gary right here. Gary knows he's in harm's way, and he's going to stand there and get the sounds. And did you watch the New Orleans game last week? Did you see the guy get hit?
Right.
It was holding the yard markers on the sidelines. I mean, it's a dangerous job being down there. Props to those guys for hanging in there and doing it.
Here's a big 3rd down play for the Lions. Blitz coming. Stafford throws and completes it to Calvin Johnson. He took a hard hit, but he got a 1st down at the 19. Kareem Moore with the tackle. Pickup of 13 for the 1st down.
Yeah, watch the blitz pickup right here by Kevin Smith. Here it comes. Watch 34. He's going to take out Rocky McIntosh and then has enough to get up and hit Landry. And the throw is perfect from Stafford, who is starting to feel his way now, I think, through this offense and has been shaking the rust off here clearly in the second half.
Stafford 19 for 32, 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kevin Smith breaks a tackle, gets outside, inside the 10, and down to the 7-yard line. Good run by Kevin Smith. It looked like he was going to be stopped for a short gain.
Yeah, he ran right through Rocky McIntosh. He gets a good pull from his right guard. He's going to follow Peterman. Now watch him run through the arm tackle right here at Rocky McIntosh. No chance. Rocky does not get his head and body in front. And Kevin Smith still has enough power coming back from that ACL. Good to see him back. He was his own best blocker that time, Sam, running through Rocky McIntosh.
1st and goal at the 7. 3 wide receivers in. Javed Best, the running back. As the Lions try to regain the lead. Stafford gets time and throws. Touchdown, Calvin Johnson. He doesn't need a helmet. It came off, but he held on to the football. His 7th catch of the game, his 2nd touchdown of the game.
Yeah, the rust is off Matthew Stafford. You could sense that here in the second half. And watch this throw. Look at the ball location, right on the numbers, low to the outside. You got the defender, D'Angelo Hall, playing to the inside. And Matthew Stafford read it perfectly and threw it to where only Calvin could get it. And now really good stuff.
Now the Lions will try for a 2-point conversion to try and up the lead to 3. Their first 2-point conversion attempt of the season. 2 tight ends. Pettigrew and Scheffler. Javed Best in the backfield. Stafford throws and he threw it right to Brian Orakpo. So the 2-point try is no good, but the Lions have answered back and they have the lead again on the touchdown pass to Calvin Johnson. The Lions lead it 20-19. Back at Ford Field in Detroit. Lions need a good cover. Both teams have returned kickoffs well in this game. Jason Hansen kicks it off. Brandon Banks from the 3. Banks swinging outside. There he goes again. Big lane. Only the kicker to beat. He was slowed down by Hansen. Angling for the corner. The chase is on. Touchdown, Brandon Banks.
Look at Danny Smith. Right to the edge again. We've seen Brandon Banks has been terrific. The coverage units, you said it, have been bad for both teams. He gets right to the edge. McIntosh gets a nice block, getting a kick out. And Hansen has been busy trying to make tackles today. Not happening that time. And Banks, all 155 pounds of him, Sam, runs away from him, the coverage guys, and gets a touchdown.
First touchdown on the kickoff return for Brandon Banks. 96 yards. And you can see the return yards in the game for Washington. 50 on the punt, 176 on the kickoffs. Danny Smith, boy, is he loving it. And for Jim Schwartz,
you know what Jim's thinking? Boy, all
time.
That offense right down the drain on one play.
That's a tough one. Now the Redskins will try for 2 points again. They'll try to open up a 7-point lead. They failed earlier on a pass attempt to Brandon Pettigrew.
Watch Fred Davis, the tight end here on Amari Spivey.
And the throw is off the hands of Davis again. Earlier it was a pass to Davis.
You see who was trying to cover him? Amari Spivey again.
They tried that earlier and it failed, and again this one failed. What's the feeling on the sideline when you have a kick being returned? It's Calvin Johnson.
He knows right now, watch. He knows right when Jason Hansen missed that tackle. Calvin went, oh boy.
Brandon Banks, the rookie out of Kansas State. He is fast and he has been good on the returns.
And had 4 touchdowns. I said it earlier, last year at Kansas State in the return game, which led the nation. That's the beauty of special teams. I mean, you see all that methodical work by the offense, and boy, guys are running, and Kevin Smith and Calvin and all that good stuff, and there's certainly a method to it. The beauty of special teams is every play, Sam, is drawn up to score a touchdown. It makes it such an exciting element of the game.
And this game has gone back and forth. The Redskins taking the lead now.
And I thought Danny Smith did a good job of, look at all the guys over here. They were definitely thinking left return. And Danny Smith dialed it up and says, okay, look, guys, we'll set everybody this way. If they kick to this hash, they're going to directional kick us to this hash. We're going to give the illusion that we're going to take it up this side, and then I want you, Brandon Banks, just to break right to the perimeter to the outside. They did not have an answer for it in coverage.
Here's Graham Gano kicking off to Stephon Logan. Let's check out this return from the 4. Logan looking for some room, but they've got him. HB Blades, Horatio Blades, takes him down at the 25-yard line. This February, Fox presents a bold new drama. When crime and corruption take over Chicago, these cops will do anything to take it back. From the creator of The Shield comes the Chicago Code. No one is above the law. This February on Fox.
Not even the Bears?
No.
1985?
They're close. They've got a reunion coming in a couple of weeks. Kevin Smith in the backfield. Lions start from the 25. Stafford with time, completes to Bryant Johnson. Up to the 34-yard line. Philip Buchanan with the tackle. Stafford 21 for 34, 167 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Yeah, I think if you're Scott Linehan, you just keep doing what you're doing, because I think he has called a terrific game here in the second half. The run game has not been up to par, obviously, but they've done a nice job here in the passing game.
Neither team's been able to run that well. Stafford steps up, completes to Kevin Smith out of the backfield. It's enough for a first down up at the 37-yard line. 5 lead changes in this game. Lions scored first in the game.
I'll tell you what I'm surprised about, and you'll see Washington a lot keeping their linebackers on the field. And even in the sub package, you'll see Rocky McIntosh and Fletcher out there together. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of Tony Scheffler, Sam, in this football game when you think of that matchup.
Good point. Hainsworth in, a defensive tackle inside. Stafford throwing outside to Calvin Johnson. Spinning away and down to the Redskins 43. Buffalo Bills. We're going to update you, but we've got a flag back.
Holding. Offense. Number 51. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
It's on the center, Dominic Raiola. Let's check out the Bills and the Chiefs. Here's Kurt.
Bills looking for their first win of the season down in Kansas City, but Steve Johnson, 5th straight game with a touchdown, ties it with just under 2 minutes left. It's now down to 1.5, even at 10. Sam and Tim.
We'll see the Bills next week in Toronto against the Chicago Bears. So instead of a 19-yard gain and the Lions being at the Redskins 43, Lions are backed up to their own 28-yard line. Have to get to the 48 for a first down. It's 1st and 20.
Boy, they have been crushed by penalties this season.
Stafford motioning to Calvin Johnson. 3 wide receivers out. Pass is complete. This time to Nate Burleson. Up to the 37-yard line. D'Angelo Hall covering on the play. And it's an example of what you talked about earlier, Tim. Take what the defense gives you.
You have to. And I think when you look at this offense, and I said it earlier, their 1-5 record does not indicate what kind of team they are. Sean Hill played good football. And I think a lot of that when he was out there for Stafford was under the guidance of Scott Linehan right there is, look, the defense, there's a weakness. They're going to give you options. Take advantage of it and be patient.
Everybody out. Stafford steps up and runs with it. Threw it just as he got to the line of scrimmage, but missed Tony Scheffler. He was going to run, but then he saw Scheffler open, and he grabbed the ball out of his left hand and threw it wide.
And just a little out of sync, because that really was a good idea. Here comes the pressure. Now he's going to step up. He thinks he's going to get sacked. You see him get ready for the hit there. It doesn't happen. And I think you're right. He was certainly had his mind made up he was going to run. Then he saw Fletcher coming and saw Scheffler and just could not get himself squared up to make an accurate throw.
So here's 3rd and 11. A big 3rd down play. Kevin Smith in the backfield. 3 wide receivers. Scheffler's the tight end to the left side. Stafford, that pass was blocked. He had Kevin Smith short over the middle, was trying to get it to him. But the pass blocked, and the Lions have to punt it away.
And there is nothing wrong with that play call. Cover 2, they're dropping everybody out. The hole's right there. That's what you want. Kevin Smith, he's going to be real close to getting the first down, and Kedrick Golston gets the bat down for the Redskins.
Big play by Kedrick Golston. Nick Harris to kick it away. It's time. And it's Brandon Banks from the 19. Slips one man, but Welding got just enough to make the stop. John Wendling on the tackle. 7-yard return after a 44-yard punt. London Fletcher, who has played for some great people like Greg Williams, who's down in New Orleans now, says London Fletcher, his intelligence, toughness, and passion to prove everybody wrong makes him one of the best to ever play the middle linebacker position. He's overcome more in life than any football game will ever present to him. I'm a better coach and better person to have been around him. 200th game in the career of London Fletcher.
Says it all right there.
And most of his coaches would say the same thing. Maybe all of them.
Well, and think about it. And the guy finally got the recognition around the NFL. With the Rams, won a Super Bowl, was with Greg in Buffalo when Greg was the head coach. Down here to Washington, leads them in tackles every year. Finally got to a Pro Bowl last year in year 12. Was never drafted. He said his ambition was to make the practice squad when he came out. And I asked him, I said, how was that Pro Bowl? Were you the most fired up guy out there? He said, well, I know I played the hardest. I made 6 of the first 7 tackles of the game. And you know what? I think Greg said part of it. He's a better person than he is a player. That's the beauty of London Fletcher.
Here's 2nd and 10 for the Redskins. Big possession here. Off the play fake, McNabb hit as he throws into a crowd, and it's intercepted. It was wrestled out of the receiver's hands by Alphonso Smith. His 4th interception in the last 5 games. That was a battle one-on-one, and Smith won it.
Yep, and all the way right here, crossing route, and right into triple coverage, and he undercut it. I mean, there was help all around him. This is not a good throw from Donovan McNabb. Watch all the blue jerseys right there, and that opening closed quick. It's interception number 4 for Alphonso Smith. And I know the running game hasn't been going, but 4 minutes to go. Start chewing the clock a little bit. Zero confidence, obviously, Sam, in the running game for the Washington Redskins.
And now the Lions are set up here at the Redskins 37. Kevin Smith in the backfield with Stafford. Everybody out. Stafford throws under pressure. That's incomplete. He was trying to get it to Calvin Johnson, but he was hit. And this time the Redskins got good pressure. Adam Carricker was in along with Andre Carter. As Donovan McNabb talks things over with his offensive coordinator, Kyle Shanahan.
And you know, we always see guys holding those pictures. And really what those are is it's got 2 shots of every play. And they're sent down. They come right down. The coordinator looks at them. The first one is right before the snap. They take a shot to show the pre-snap read. And then the second picture, Sam, is right after the quarterback takes his non-throwing hand off the ball. They snap another shot to show the post-snap read.
Here's 2nd and 10. Stafford steps away from the rush, completes it to Kevin Smith out of the backfield. He's out of bounds at the Redskins 24-yard line. Good play for the Lions. Pickup of 13 on the play.
Interesting that Javid Best isn't out there. And we've seen a lot of Kevin Smith here over the last drive. There's Javid Best right there, because that play right there is curtailed to what his skill sets are. You get man coverage on a linebacker. Javid Best usually kills that schematically.
That interception, by the way, was the first turnover for the Redskins in the game. Scheffler, the tight end, lines up in the backfield for protection. 3 wide receivers. Stafford throwing deep for Calvin Johnson. He overthrows it. D'Angelo Hall was one-on-one with Calvin Johnson. Once again, Stafford took a hit and he gets up limping. He has hung in there in his first game back since opening day when he was injured in Chicago.
And I think Calvin, you watch Calvin, he's going to split this right on the seam, and it looks like he just throttles it down. Little out and up, throttles it down. Yeah, that ball is coming out late, though. That ball needed to be thrown about a second earlier. Calvin in stride.
That was way overthrown.
Yep.
2nd and 10. Empty backfield. Everybody out. Stafford looks. Throws to the sideline, incomplete. Intended for Brian Johnson. That was well covered. Philip Buchanan covering on the play. There's a flag on the near sideline. We got to check this out.
Holding. Defense. Number 41. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Automatic first down for the Lions.
And looks like it's going to be right here. Yeah, it's 41. I thought it was 31. No. 41, Kareem Moore. Yeah, he had his hands all over Kevin Smith, who was split out wide in the slot.
And the flag, you see it came in. So the ball down to the Redskins 19. That's a big penalty. New set of downs for the Lions.
This is that Okie defense. They got to throw at this Okie. And that's what they're going to do.
Stafford swings it out off the hands of Javid Best. Brings up a 2nd and 10. Adam Carricker.
He's made a nice transition to the 3-4 defense here for Jim Haslett. Drafted him in St. Louis, #1, and really, it's what he ran at Nebraska when he was in college.
Yeah.
More of that two-gapper, big-bodied guy playing at the line of scrimmage rather than creasing the gaps.
Pettigrew, tight end to the left. Kevin Smith in the backfield with Matthew Stafford. Stafford to Calvin Johnson down to the 11-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 2 as Johnson shaken up a little bit.
Calvin against D'Angelo Hall has been a good matchup all day. D'Angelo has really matched up with him, with the exception of when Calvin is in the slot. Playing a lot of off coverage. That's what you want to do against the bigger guys. You have your smaller defender on the upfield shoulder, where the guy can't just jump over him and go get the football and just basically win a rebound. But it's been a good matchup today.
Johnson shaken up, has gone to the sideline. 2 tight ends in. Tony Scheffler, one of them splits out. Johnson has 8 catches in the game. Everybody out. Stafford throws, and that was a jump ball that was batted away. Tried to get it to Nate Burleson. Kareem Moore, the safety. Good coverage on the play.
He is lucky that was not picked off. Kareem Moore was just sitting there waiting for it. I mean, watch Kareem Moore. He's going to get over and he's just going to sit in this spot and wait for the route.
Okay, Tim, 4th down. What do you do here? Lions look like they're going to go for it. There's still 3:17 to go. And the Lions have all their timeouts. I don't know. I think I'd kick a field goal. Johnson is back in.
I wouldn't be surprised if they run on this sub package here. No.
On 4th down, Stafford throws. Touchdown to Calvin Johnson. His 3rd of the game. Johnson was shaken up, came back in, catches his 3rd touchdown, and we have our 6th lead change.
And you got to love the fact that Calvin Johnson's mentality is he's not going to be denied. Refuse to lose. We've seen that over the last 5 weeks from him. He's got a bunch of touchdowns in the last 4 games. In that time, I mean, there was 2 guys around him. He sticks it inside, got down the seam, was a good throw, and Calvin was just going to go get it, period.
Lions go for 2. They failed on their try earlier. Burleson motions. Stafford rolls and throws, and the catch is made. 2-point conversion is good. Brian Johnson with the catch. And the Lions lead by 3.
Watch Calvin here. He's going to get the corner turn Carlos Rogers just by sticking him inside just enough, and then look at the ball location. Remember what I said earlier? You put the smaller defender on the upfield shoulder, and that was great ball location. Stafford shot it in there right where it needed to be. And as I said, Calvin wasn't going to be denied. 2 guys around him, 1 in front, Landry behind him.
What a game for Calvin Johnson.
It's a great
then
game.
On the 2-point conversion, it goes to Brian Johnson.
Little speed option, rolling everybody to the right. You stretch the defense, said Calvin deep, send the other receiver Burleson to the pylon to stretch him horizontally. Brian Johnson sitting right in the little soft spot for the strike.
One of your early eyes on was the matchup with Calvin Johnson. He's got 9 catches, 101 yards, and a career high 3 touchdowns.
And we're seeing his mentality match his physical ability. I mean, year after year, the guy's been a 50-catch-a-year guy. And I know he's had some injuries, but you look at him, you say he's 80 to 100 catches and, 12 to 15 touchdowns. I think all that's starting to mesh up now, Sam, as he's getting it figured out from the neck up.
Now the Lions, what they have to get figured out is their kickoff coverage. Brandon Banks, who has a touchdown in this game. Hansen, little pooch kick. Coming down, Mike Sellers, the fullback, grabbed it. Looking for some running room, falls forward to the 28-yard line. Well, they kept it away from Brandon Banks. They haven't been able to keep it away from Calvin Johnson. Now for the Redskins and Donovan McNabb, they need a comeback. Mike Shanahan in his first year with the Redskins. But the Redskins the last couple of seasons have known close games. 28 of their last 39 games have been decided by 8 points or fewer.
Yeah, and look at what happens. 14-14 and even 500 in those games. How about the Lions? 33 points a game over the last 3. Got 28 up on the board here today.
Galloway in as a third wide receiver. McNabb sends everybody out. Goes short to Keelan Williams. Flag on the play. Back in the Redskins backfield. Looks like holding
and I think
against Washington.
Looks like it's going to be on Trent Williams, the left tackle.
Holding. Offense. Number 71. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
The rookie out of Oklahoma.
And Kyle Vandenbosch, who's been pressing the edge all day long, does it again. Ooh.
Ooh. You didn't like that call?
Looked like he just was turning the corner and fell down. I couldn't see if Trent Williams, at least from that angle, pulled him down with a hand or not.
I thought he got a piece of him and took him down. That was Graham Gano on the sideline. He's the place kicker. Ball back to the 17. McNabb gets time, going short, completing to Santana Moss. Back up to the 28-yard line, the original line of scrimmage. Chris Cooley had missed a couple of possessions with back spasms. The training staff, medical staff wrapped him up, and he's back in the game.
Anybody that was a state champion in wrestling is, I think, a pretty tough dude. Cools is showing.
2nd and 10. McNabb steps up, wants to go deep and does, and he overthrows everybody. He had one man, Anthony Armstrong, who was double covered. Armstrong appealing to the officials, feeling he was held downfield. But no call, no flag, and a 3rd and 10 for Washington.
Here's Anthony Armstrong out here. Let's see if he gets bumped. Well, he definitely cut off his path, and the ball was in the air.
That's what he was complaining about.
Looks like they may have missed one there.
Redskins are only 2 for 12 on 3rd down conversions.
And guess what? 3rd and long again.
Everybody out. McNabb throws. It overthrew Cooley. It was almost intercepted by Chris Houston. And now with 2:15 to go, it's 4th and 10 for the Redskins.
Boy, Cliff Averill has been so close to having a breakout performance, the left defensive end for the Detroit Lions. Was so close to having another sack right there. McNabb stepped up and had Galloway wide open in the flat and threw it high to Cooley behind him.
Redskins will go for it. Galloway, a 3rd wide receiver. Cooley motions. Everybody out. In trouble, they sacked him. There's your man, Averill. You were talking about him. 5th sack of the game for the Lions. Averill's 2nd. Big finish by Cliff Averill.
I told you how close this guy was. I know watching the tape, he was so ready for a breakout performance. Look at him over here with Vandenbosch. They're both together. Him and, that's Ndamukong Suh. They're out there wide together, putting pressure on Stephon Hire. And Ndamukong Suh, I think, held Stephon Hire. And Averill ran right around him. You saw Stephon Hire grabbing and saying, the guy held me, he held me. Love that little wrinkle from Gunther Cunningham, putting both guys out there wide on Stephon Hire, and grabbed him with one and ran by him with the other in Cliff Averill.
Gunther Cunningham and his defense have done a great job. 2:10 remaining, 2 timeouts for the Redskins. Lions with a 3-point lead. Kevin Smith is stopped. Stopped right away by Brian Arakpo. We're coming down. No, the Redskins use one of their timeouts. 2:05 remaining.
And I'll tell you, quarter by quarter, it hasn't mattered. They have been disruptive, the defensive line. Look at Kyle Vandenbosch early in the game. That was the first series. This is the 2nd quarter. Now it's time for Ndamukong Suh to wreak some havoc. 3rd quarter, now here comes Corey Williams, big number 99. And then now the 4th quarter, Cliff Averill. There he is right there getting the big sack. And you know of Gunther Cunningham, as I said earlier, 11 years as a defensive line coach in pro football. He loves that group up front.
And Gunther, of course, enjoys the challenge of going up against Mike Shanahan. They're friends. Gunther's got a color photo of Mike Shanahan on his desk in his office. They have battled against one another when Gunther was in Kansas City and Mike was in Denver. They are two outstanding coaches. Kevin Smith cutting it back the other way. Kareem Moore pulls him down at the 15-yard line. We reached the 2-minute warning with exactly 1:59 remaining. The Lions in a back-and-forth game with 6 lead changes. They lead at 28-25. Redskins haven't had a running game. Donovan McNabb has been under siege, sacked 5 times. He's now been sacked 15 times the last 4 games.
Well, and they ran well up until, the last couple games up until today. You get left-handed and you let coordinators know it, and you're exclusively going to have to throw the football. And I think when you look at Gunther Cunningham and his defense, they've done it really with just 4 guys, Sam. Not a lot of blitzing, not a lot of pressure packages. They have controlled the line of scrimmage.
On 3rd and 5, Kevin Smith brought down at the 14. Redskins use their last timeout. So the Lions will send the field goal kicking unit on to try and take a 6-point lead, which means the Redskins will get the ball back with a chance to march it down the field. Donovan McNabb will get one more chance.
And I think if you're Jimmy Schwartz and you're looking at your football team and they'll go back and watch the tape and all that, it's been great for Calvin. The explosiveness got back into the game for the offense. Matthew Stafford certainly in the second half shook off the rust. All that stuff was good, but they're in this position with an opportunity to win this game right now because of what they've done at the line of scrimmage. Now, period. On both sides of the ball.
I'll question why they didn't take a shot in the end zone. One shot in the end zone for a chance to put this game out of reach. Right here, they can take a 6-point lead. Jason Hansen, 32-yard attempt. Nick Harris, the holder. Don Muhlbach is the long snapper. And the kick is good. Hansen with a couple of field goals in the game. The Lions now have a 6-point lead.
Just to what you said, you take a shot into the end zone, I get it, but now you're going to stop the clock if it's incomplete. That's number 1. Number 2, you don't force them to take their last timeout. Number 2, what if they get an interception and now they can come down and kick a field goal and tie it up?
Now Rex Grossman, the backup quarterback, is warming up on the sideline, running up and down. Donovan McNabb has got the baseball cap on. Now what is?
Yeah, I don't get this.
Rex Grossman,
unless
there's something,
Donovan's got an injury.
It's got to be something.
How do you sit for 58 minutes and 10 seconds and then you need it at the end and send Rex Grossman out there?
It's nothing apparent that we could see. He certainly took a lot of hits in the game. We know that. He's been sacked 5 times. That last play when Averill took him down. But Donovan
it
McNabb,
looks like there's disappointment on his face. Like he is just getting sat down for ineffective plays. Interesting decision.
With under 2 minutes to go in the game? Well, I don't know. All right, now they can use a big return. Let's see what Jason Hansen does. Last time was a short kick. Again, it's short. But this time Banks comes up to get it at the 20. Banks trying to get to the outside, couldn't. Good tackle by Jonathan Wade at the 30-yard line. And Rex Grossman comes into the game, and he has not taken a snap this season. So with a minute 50 to go, a minute 45 to go, Redskins out of timeouts. Rex Grossman makes his first appearance in the regular season.
Listen, there's one thing that's to his advantage. He knows this offense much better than Donovan McNabb, having been with Kyle Shanahan in Houston. But player for player, I don't understand this decision.
Redskins must take it all the way. Pressure on Grossman, he's hit. Loose ball, it's a live ball recovered by the Lions. And Duncan Sue, touchdown. Cliff Averill and Kyle Vanden Bosch sandwiched. Rex Grossman and Ndamukong Suh recovers and takes it in for a touchdown.
Here we go. It's the outside edge pressure. They want him to step up. Bang. There's the hit from Vanden Bosch. The sack. Knocking the ball out. Look at the big fella started celebrating at about the 5. Vanden Bosch has been a monster today. This time he takes the inside rush. I'm telling you, a big part of that is lining up so wide that by the time he makes contact with the offensive tackle, he's at about the level of the quarterback. Slid back inside, sack, knocks it out. Suh finishes it. I'll tell you, you get the feeling that these Lions are starting to believe. And it's not just today. And what they're able to do in the score obviously is indicative of what's happened in this football game. But talking to Gunther, talking to Jimmy Schwartz, it's all about the confidence of this football team matching up with the talent. I think we're seeing it certainly here in the second half.
And Ndamukong Suh.
That'll go long. He's got a pick already this year. Now a touchdown to go with all the sacks. He is going to definitely be the front runner for Rookie of the Year by midseason.
Lions are going to go for 2 points to try and make it a 14-point lead. And Rex Grossman, boy, what a terrible feeling that's got to be. You put in the game. First play, they knocked the ball out.
What do you think McNabb's thinking? Huh? What do you think McNabb's thinking?
Unless there's something wrong, something hurting, I am shocked.
I'm not an expert at reading body language, but it looked to me like Donovan was agitated, to say the least, and healthy enough to go play.
This play is being reviewed upstairs. Obviously, in the last 2 minutes, it's a booth review. And that is, they are holding right now to see if the arm was moving forward with the ball in. No, that looks like it's. No, I don't think so. Tim, what do you think?
It's hard to tell from that angle. I mean,
the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
When he says confirmed, that means they were right on with the call. And Ndamukong Suh with his first NFL touchdown.
Tell you, you look at this year, teams coming off bye weeks, and the advantage of playing at home off a bye week, it has been so lopsided versus the other teams that have a week off and then have to travel on the road.
And a 2-point try for the Lions. Their third of the game. They're 1 for 2. Stafford dropping back, lofting it into the end zone, and it's batted away. London Fletcher covering the tight end. Brandon Pettigrew on the play. Don't forget, America's Game of the Week. Second game of our NFL on Fox doubleheader with Minnesota at New England coming up. Stay tuned for that.
One more look here at the touchdown. Boy, front four all day, just getting off the football, putting pressure on the quarterback. Vanden Bosch, Corey Williams, Averill, and Ndamukong Suh.
He was a little casual on that.
Look at Jimmy. Right? Jimmy Short's like, yeah. Oh, you got to be happy for him. Bang! Yeah.
That feels good for the Lions. For the Redskins, not what they want to do going into the bye week, as they were hoping to keep pace in the NFC East. They will go into the bye week at 4-4. The Giants lead the division at 5-2, and they're off this week.
And to McNabb's defense, and I'm telling you, that look on his face, I don't see any trainers working on him. I would really speculate to say there is no injury and he was just replaced. And I think a good example of it there with Rex Grossman, I don't care who's playing quarterback. You could have Mike Vick back there today, and the way that offensive line performed with that defensive line rushing the passer on him, they had no chance at the quarterback spot.
Hansen kicks it deep this time with the 12-point lead. Brandon Banks on the return. And he is brought down. This time good coverage by the Lions. Landon Johnson on the tackle at the 25-yard line. The Lions are home against the New York Jets next week. The Jets lost at home, were shut out by the Green Bay Packers 9-0. Redskins have the bye week next week, and they'll come back November the 15th on a Monday night against the Philadelphia Eagles in Washington. Rex Grossman was hit as he threw. It was incomplete. He asking for a flag. Minute 26 remaining. Redskins out of timeouts. Redskins had their chances. This game went back and forth, but a lot of pressure by this defense. The Lions defense really coming up with a tremendous effort, led by the defensive line. 5 sacks in the game, 2 for Ndamukong Suh, 2 for Cliff Averill, 1 for Kyle Vanden Bosch.
Really exciting game too, just back and forth with all the special teams plays. And if you like special teams, there's a lot of good stuff going on here today at Ford Field.
And I want to add 1 sack on the hit on Rex Grossman, so there's 6 sacks in the game for the Detroit Lions. That pass by Grossman bounced wide of Santana Moss. Our producer today, Mike Burks. Our director, Greg Scopatoni. Associate director, Tom Yohe. Broadcast associate, Matt Saldana. Technical producer, Frank Phillips. Special thanks to our great crew led by Lisa Hanson, Kevin McCloskey, and Alan Slansky. The studio show was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Associate producer, Stephanie Medina. The highlights coordinator, Janice Casaza. Studio technical supervisor, Jack Simmons. And Buzz Schwing and John Savchinski set up the great holiday decorations in the booth and did their usual great camera work today. Thanks to our crew. They will get plenty of Halloween candy. They're trick-or-treating in the stands somewhere. They're dressed up as TV cameramen.
You going to get home early enough to make the rounds?
Absolutely. A late night. Before midnight.
For some reason I didn't believe you when
Who's
you said
that scary guy knocking at the front door? Well, we'll get some answers after the game as to why it's Keelan Williams on the reception from Rex Grossman, but as to why Donovan McNabb was replaced with just under 2 minutes remaining. Redskins can't stop the clock. Out of timeouts. A 12-point Detroit lead. As he throws.
Yeah, he has been hit. I don't know, the 4 passes he's thrown, he's been hit on 3 of them.
Lions will go to 2-5. Mike Shanahan and his team will be 4-4 after this one. And big disappointment for Donovan McNabb. 17 for 31, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Numbers are decent numbers, but you can't account for the pressure that he was under throughout the game.
Yeah, and there's a flag going down here, intentional grounding.
25 seconds remaining.
You know, if I know Mike Shanahan, and I don't know him great, but I know what he does in terms of stimulating competition. You're going into a bye week. So you're going to have, Donovan McNabb's going to have 2 weeks to think about this. He's going to have 2 weeks to think about the competition. He's going to have 2 weeks to think that Rex Grossman came in and replaced him at the end of this game for ineffectiveness.
Was it Donovan's ineffectiveness, or was it the lack of a running game?
I don't know,
and
because
the pressure?
Until they go back and watch the tape and see if there was mental errors by the quarterback. But I think I made the point that I don't care who was back there. They had no chance with all the pressure in the face of the quarterback.
The completion to Santana Moss, looking for room. He goes down at the 41-yard line. Final seconds tick off. Last year, Washington lost here, and this year, same thing happens. They walk into Detroit and get ambushed. The Lions were ready, coming off the bye week. Win number 2 of the season for the Detroit Lions. They defeat the Washington Redskins 37-25. Coming up next, America's Game of the Week, Minnesota at New England. Don't go away. It's coming up next.